Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to round 4 of the NRL Season 7 Saturday Heat. I'm your main host, Tati, doing what I can to fill flawed shoes and provide all the key moments in what will be a crucial round for many of our hopeful drivers. I'm joined in the booth today by two guys you're already familiar with from the Friday crew, Toon and Hover. Toon, say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody. It's actually interesting to be over on a Saturday broadcast that's not the finals, but hi, I've missed all of you. Hope you enjoyed last night and are ready for today.
I hope they are too. And Hover, how you doing today?
Doing very well this fine afternoon. I'm glad to be back in the booth for another broadcast for round 4. You know, the final 2 races before we get into that juicy final 2 races for the championships.
Man, y'all had 2 juicy races last night, so I hope that your voices are ready for double duty today. We will kick it off today with thanking the DGDR podcast. This high-octane weekly podcast is where 4 drivers from the PDX Sim team take you inside the world of motorsports and sim racing. From breaking news to heated debates, wild stories to pro tips, these guys cover it all with passion, humor, and just the right amount of chaos. For your podcast fix, these are available on all platforms with new weekly episodes dropped every Monday.
Also, we would love to welcome and thank Trails and Custom Construction for sponsoring the NRL this season. If you are in the beautiful city of Charlotte, North Carolina, or the surrounding areas, and feel like your home doesn't really speak to you, then look no further than Trails and Construction. This family-owned and operated company offers bespoke solutions including furniture, home building, cabinets, and much more. They will work closely with you to bring your dream home to life right before your very eyes, both on time and within budget. With nothing but 5-star reviews online, you can trust that your dream home is in great hands. Once again, that's Trails and Custom Construction, building your dream homes and cabinetry that tell your story. Thank you so much for your support this season, guys.
We would also like to thank Hankey's Tavern, situated in charming Old Town Florissant in St. Louis, Missouri. If great food, great drinks, and great company are what you're looking for, then look no further than Hankey's Tavern. If you're in the St. Louis area, then stop on by and watch the NRL broadcast live on their many large-screen TVs and let them know that the NRL sent you. Lastly, we would like to thank Little J CPA, turning streams and side hustles into smart money moves. Whether you're building a small business, growing a brand, or cashing in on streaming income, we'll help you track earnings, maximize deductions, and keep more of what you've worked for. You focus on building, we handle the numbers. Back to you, Tati.
Thanks, Toon. Thank you, Hover. I have to say that I was laughing while I was reading the DGDR thing because I was remembering our last time with them, Toon, when we were both on there last weekend. Y'all go check that podcast out. Anyway, it's time to take a look at what our Division B drivers have in store for them. So, we have something incredibly special today. We are in Japan at a fictional but wonderful track named Kyoto at specifically the Yamagiwa reverse layout. Drivers will be in the Lexus ST430 GT500 from 2008. The qualifier will be a 10-minute qualifier as expected. Tire wear will be set for the same as the race. That's 2X, as will fuel at 3X. There will be a grid start with a false start check as usual. BOP is on and brake balance tuning is allowed. They're all available tires, only one is required. The Racing Hard. We'll be racing here for 20 laps, and I can't wait to see what they might have going on here. So, I'm sorry, Hover, do you mind reading the point scoring breakdown for us?
No problemo. To the viewers, if you're familiar with the F1 point scoring model from pre-2023, I want to say, it's very much similar to that. Race winner will nab 25 points, second place 18 points, third place 15 points, and it goes all the way down to the final points paying position being 10th place with 1 point. If you are at the end of the race with the fastest lap and in the top 10, you will also get 1 more bonus point.
Listen, every single point counts. Tune, would you mind reading our Saturday Division B driver lineup?
It would be my pleasure. So, for our semifinal round Division B race on the Saturday side of things, we have BHR Johnny Boy, Caper, Cole Trickle, Digital Relay, Felmora, Jimmy K9, NVR Krulov 11, Pelias Pangolin, Papa, PHG Arrow, S-Folk Drum W, Shadow Chef, Sheldologist, and Stumpy. As always, listed next to their names are their Twitch and or YouTube channel presence should they be applicable. Feel free to go check out any of these drivers you see on screen as they may be streaming their perspective of the race. But if you do, make sure you leave this tab open and unmuted so you don't miss any of the racing action.
That's right. You definitely want to stay here. This is the last points giving round, boys. Like, this is it. Every driver has got to get every point they can to guarantee their spot in the finals. I mean, no pressure. You know what I mean? Right? Like, easy, right? However, are you familiar with this layout? Do you like Yamagiwa in reverse?
You know, it's a very interesting track, at least for me, right? A lot of long sweepers. That's probably the most famous characteristic of this track. But we also have this little unique feature of said long-handers having kind of a ditch effect on the inside of the curbs, right? I don't think that specific characteristic is going to be coming into play today because of how low these Group 2 cars are. So,
Hmm.
you know, if you attempt to do that, you're just going to be thrown off the track. It's not going to be very fun for the cars. But regardless, they still will have to handle and manage their tires on these long sweepers. They chew through tires like there's no tomorrow. So I think that's going to be coming into play tonight or today.
Absolutely, those sweepers are a big deal, and they all accompany an elevation change, whether slight or big. Tune, if I'm not mistaken, this kind of driving, high downforce cars, they're not really your cup of tea. But this is a perfect layout for that kind of car. Would you agree?
Well, this is indeed a perfect layout for this kind of car, and you misunderstand me. I thoroughly enjoy high downforce racing. The Super GT cars, as they're known in real life, the GT 500s in Gran Turismo, they are fantastic machines. They can be a little temperamental, but it's really a testament to the driver's ability to really push the envelope and maximize every little bit of power that they have in these cars and in themselves to be able to achieve success. Now, there are times where, yes, I will admit I am not a fan of high downforce cars, mainly when they're not going fast. But luckily, they are pretty quick on the accelerator. But from slow to back up to race speed, that's when I kind of contemplate throwing the traction control back on, just because I don't want to take any chances. Just like these drivers are definitely not going to want to take any chances in this race. It's every single point for the taking on this one. It could make or break you going to the finals. And listen, you on the Saturday side, just know you've probably got some Friday drivers preying on your demise. So you might want to prove them wrong and earn your spot in the grand finals.
Yeah, agreed. And I was glad that I was wrong about that. I love that you have an appreciation for these cars because they are really fun to drive. We're on track right now, so we're literally watching these guys get to have a good time. Not that I don't enjoy being in the booth with you guys, but to what you said, Tune, about these cars being like, you want to push them, right? You want to see how much you can get that downforce to work for you. And for me, this is such a perfect track to like that. This track embodies that philosophy. Those long sweepers really encourage you to push and see like, well, how soon can I get on the throttle here? How much speed can I carry through here? But then you've got these slow corners, this hairpin to really like challenge your like, how brave can I be? How late am I going to brake for this corner? How hard am I going to throw this car into it? It is a good time, and these drivers will face those challenges and more. To your point about tires, right? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, there is also one thing you should also take into consideration for this race. If it's anything like Division B for last night, slipstream will be a rather large factor just due to the amount of dirty air that these cars are going to be susceptible to. And as we see our drivers, namely Cole Trickle right here, going and doing a hot lap as he dances through the chicane in the opposite direction to what most of us are familiar with. It's going to be dicey, especially once he gets down towards the downhill section where the first chicane is on the normal layout. It could spell a recipe for disaster. These cars might miss their braking points. They might be a casualty to the car ahead of them. They might do a spot of rally crossing. It's anybody's game on this one.
Yeah, for sure. This track, man, it's narrow. It doesn't feel like it, but it races a bit more narrow than you would think. Being offline, especially in cars this quick, can be detrimental. Absolutely. Hover, I noticed Cole is actually taking a lot of curbs here on a lot of these corners. The curbs are a little bit mellow on this track, but these cars do sit really low. Do you have any insight on like where they're safe and where they're not?
Overall, they're fairly safe on most of the entries of the curbs, right? It's going to be the exits where they're going to have to be a little bit careful, right? Especially if they're aiming towards the apex. Once they get off the apex of the curb kind of just quickly drops down onto the level of elevation for the rest of the track, right?
Yes.
So if they kind of get on the power a little bit too early or a little bit too late, and it disrupts the traction on the rear tires, that's where we're gonna see a little bit of some spins. And besides that, the chicane at the bottom of the track is really kind of where you see that point the most. You're going over the curves over and over and over again, possibly even hitting the grass. So that's where the cars are most likely to spin out.
Gotcha. As you were saying that, we were getting a really good view of Stumpy's point of view there on the screen as he was going over some of those curves. And even on the screen in that moment right there, you can see in the main screen just how hard that curb drops off on the other side of it. So even if you're using the curb, you're right, you do want to be careful of how much you use it and where you come off of that curb. These cars are sensitive and susceptible to snap oversteer, especially with these drivers who are going to be on hards during the race. Hards and saving tires are going to be a big deal, and you know, getting on the throttle and making sure that you have all the traction that you can on these really powerful cars is super important. We're having a look right now at Jimmy K9. He's with the Full Acceleration Force team. His last appearance was, of course, last round, and he finished a P12 at Grand Valley Highway. Currently, he's got 5 points on the season, and his overall standings in Division B is 24th. So at this time, I don't know that Jimmy has a chance of getting into the final. He might, but listen, he's here for the love of the game, and so are we. Toon, you got any good racing coming up yourself in this game or any other games?
Honestly, I'm thinking about getting back into the swing of things in terms of sim racing, and might be plugging my wheel up not only to my PS5 but to my PC and actually pick doing LFM off my bucket list. I put it off for about 2 years now, and really need to get to it. Otherwise, I just made the account for nothing.
Nice. Well, I hope you can get to it. As we have a look at Felmore, is currently sitting fourth. Actually, we should have a rundown here. We're about halfway through. PSG Sheldologist, to no one's surprise, currently sits on pole with a 125.115. Felmora is about 700ths of a second behind him, and he's going to jump into the pits with fresh tires. I was noticing those front lefts are getting eaten up, and that is going to be a hint for all you viewers. I'm sorry, I had to pause there because Papa is killing it with the BBS RSs on the SC430. We love style. Papa is a stylish man, and he's got a great livery here. Let's talk about him here. He is the founder of Papa's House of Game. His last appearance was this last race. He got P6, and he's got 27 points for the season. Division B overall standings right now is P10. You can find him over at YouTube at Papa's House of Game. So let's see, Pelias Pango, if he can just find another 10th and a half, a little more actually, maybe 2/10, he can get Sheldologist. Cole Schrickle sits in third right now, just behind them. Hover, how important is start position here in this particular layout?
It's not maybe the most important naturally, but due to the nature of what we're going to be expecting to see in this race, most importantly, the slipstream is going to be set to weak for the actual race session. Because of that, these guys are going to be catching a lot of slipstream and a lot of dirty air in these different kind of sections of the track. So it's going to be a lot harder to keep up, but it's going to be a lot easier to execute a move, for example, going into turn one. The other factor is we're going to be expecting to see a lot of no stops on the hards. Because of that, you can't really execute any sort of under or overcut. So track position is a little bit more important due to the nature of the strategy.
That makes sense to me, and I wonder how that's going to play out with to your point, the dirty air here. Everybody knows dirty air just scrubs tires. There's really only two places where slipstream helps you on this track, those two long straights. Almost everywhere else is some sort of long sweeper where you're going to end up with a ton of aero wash and naturally have to turn in sooner, brake harder, and just use a little bit more of those tires to follow anyone closely to even benefit from that slipstream. But to your point, slipstream is set to weak. And for anyone watching who doesn't know what that means, it's actually stronger than the regular or real quote unquote slipstream. So it means that there's a bigger slipstream effect, which also means a bigger effect on dirty air. Ooh, Sheldy still leads. He hasn't improved on his time here, but he is also with Papa's House of Game. His last appearance was round 3, and he got P1. I think he's gotten P1 every race this season, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe there was a P2 in there. Forgive me for not remembering. He's got 79 points for the season, and his overall standing is P2 before tonight's races. You can find him over at Sheldologist on YouTube. Man, this guy has been absolutely dominating Tune. I mean, I don't know if you've been watching him race, but it feels like nobody really has a weapon against him. Can you give some advice to, I don't know, Cole? He's up in second now. Help him.
Honestly, Sheld has been running a clinic on the Saturday side of things, and he is in prime opportunity to get the first 100-point season in NRL history. Honestly, if I'm Cole, I'd be trying to focus on, trying to hit my apexes, not get too aggressive on the throttle, and really be mindful of those curves because every little fishtail in that car is going to scrub off precious time. And I mean, as well as all of us do, Tati, this is the NRL, so a last-minute miracle is definitely in the realm of possibility for Cole and all of these other drivers in this race today.
100%. And we have just 1 second left in qualifying. Of course, drivers who are currently on a fast lap will get to finish. Will anyone unseat Sheldy? He is pitted. He's in the pits. He's parked it. He knows he's done. It's all up to Cole as he comes to the last corner here. I don't think he thinks he doesn't have it. He's not even bothering. He's just going to wave himself to the finish line. What can Papa do? He's in 5th place right now. He improves this time, but not his place. Behind him, we have Jimmy coming in 10th. He's going to keep that. Felmora will hold on to 6th place. And so I believe our order is set. I don't think anyone else is still up. Digital Relay does not improve. He's going to stay in 7th place. Then we've got PHG's Arrow. He improves to 10th place. That will knock Jimmy down to P11. Johnny Boy, BHR's Johnny Boy, he's coming around the final corner now. Ooh, a little touch in the grass. Will that have hurt his acceleration? He's in 8th place now. He crosses the line and remains in 8th place. Here comes Pelias Pango. He has a chance at the podium. He's in 3rd right now. Where's he going to be? Still in 3rd. And now Stumpy will cross the line and not improve from 9th place. We still have drivers going. This is the one no one can pronounce. SF Oak Drum W is going to cross the line. He currently got pushed down to P12. Where's he going to end up? He stays P12. Well, folks, that was qualifying in, man, such a great track to lap and great cars to lap too. I bet they had a time just in quali. And this is also a fantastic track to race. So I can't wait to see how it goes. In one moment, we'll be able to read the finalized standings to you all. 10 seconds and we got it. Guys, it's a sunny day out there right now. Are we expecting any weather for this race, Hover?
There's no rain expected for this race, mostly due to the fact that the game doesn't have rain for this race. But We
Cool.
are going to be
Thanks.
expecting a random weather slots throughout the entire race, and because of that, these guys are going to have to make small adaptations with whatever tire wear that they're seeing on their cars.
All right, thank you. Well, let's go ahead and read the starting order for today. In P1, we've got PhD's Sheldologist with a 125.115. Cole Trickle comes in behind him in second place, just a little over a tenth behind. Pelias Pango comes in third place with a 125.289. PhD's Caper will start on the second row in fourth with a 125.636. Papa got himself up to a fifth place start here with a 125.660. Fel Moro will start alongside him with a 125.781. Digital Relay in seventh place will had a 125.808 rather, and in eighth place Johnny Boy with a 125.818. Our ninth place starter will be Stumpy, who got a 125.894. PhD's Arrow starts in 10th with a 126.181. And on our final row, FAF Jimmy K9 starts in 11th with a 126.252. And he'll be alongside SF Oak Drum W in 12th with a 126.633. Not a huge spread out here, certainly amongst the top 10 guys as far as lap times go. But of course, the race is different. You start closer. Again, we have that dirty air, which will push drivers wide. Hopefully, no one gets caught out, but that often comes down to being able to practice with other people, right? I think a lot of times our drivers they have jobs, they have lives, and they end up practicing all alone. However, how important is it to get in a group practice on races like this?
The biggest advantage of having a group practice or having your teammates helping with you is the amount of extra data you can gather in a very small amount of time, right? If you want to practice three different strategies by yourself, you're going to have to run the entire race three different times. And with these races being about half an hour, that's going to be an hour and a half of you just dedicating yourself to testing those three strategies. Now, if you have three other people, right, or three people in total doing the same practice, each one of you is able to do a different strategy, and whichever one comes out on top, you can start really pinning down the execution of that strategy, saving you a lot more time going into the race.
100%. That is probably my favorite thing about practicing as a group is yeah, that 3 or even 5x data collection there with just one practice. Tune, you know what it's like to have to jump in at the last minute though. Like, how do drivers adapt if this is their first time being on this track with other people, whether they got a full 2 weeks of seat time or not?
Honestly, I think the best way to go about adapting to the track is if you're in a qualifying session, use the first couple laps as signing laps and then start formulating your racing line and how you want to hit your corners. Or another valid strategy is sit in the pits for a lap or two. Sure, you're going to lose out on precious track time, but you are going to be able to observe your competitors who have been able to get the practice in, who know this track pretty well, and you can just treat it as a commentary free lap guide, as if you were watching a lap replay on the daily race leaderboards. You go, you take a look, and everything is right there for you. Sure, you don't have all the telemetry or anything like that, but you're able to just keep an eye and try and emulate what they're doing and try and piece together what you would hope to be a good lap. And honestly, I think learning on the fly and being put into a position where you're on the spot is very beneficial for many drivers because they don't have the opportunity to overthink it or anything along those lines.
Yeah, a man after my own heart. I love sniping info that way when I'm coming in blind. But it sounds like we're going to be heading on track soon. Yeah, drivers are lined up. The lights are about to go on and then off. It is a grid start. Hopefully, no one false starts here. We should have a clean start from these pros, though. And they are off. Green, green, green. Everyone gets off a good start. Cole Trickle having a look inside. Not Cole, I'm sorry. That's Caper there behind Cole, but Sheldologist easily goes ahead and takes the inside line for turn one. Behind him, drivers are still too wide through that first sweeper there, but it looks like the first 2 or 3 are away cleanly as we enter the first dangerous, it's not a chicane, but the corner's weird. Going backwards, Cole Trickle hard on the brakes behind Sheldo in first place here. You can see him really deep on the brakes there. The drivers behind seem to be going along neatly as well. I haven't seen any incidents. Hover, have you seen anything in the back?
No, everyone has gone away pretty nice and tidily. A lot of different. Oh, you're down in the chicane, P9, PN, or T.
Oh, there's a lot going on back there. Yes, big contact with the wall. That, I believe, is Jimmy. Yes, that is Jimmy K9 who hit the wall hard enough to completely stop, but he wasn't the only one affected. Let's see what happens. Stumpy's in the grass there, but that doesn't seem to be the issue. Jimmy is a little bit wide offline there. He's offline for the S's, which is super not right, but I think PhD Arrow is also a little bit out of control behind him. Slams into Jimmy, slams into, I don't even know who that was ahead of them. There was at least 3 drivers hit there. Jimmy taking the worst of it. He's got front end damage. Lucky not to have engine damage, but I believe these are mid-engined in real life. More silhouette car than anything else, if I'm not mistaken. Coming back to the front here, though, we've got Caper in third place, following Cole and Sheldologist, and they're doing a great job there getting away from the pack. As you see, obviously in the back, it's not quite safe. Solid MIG pack formation behind them there. 4 in the battle for fourth. That's Digital Relay, Papa, Pelias Pango, and Felmora all alongside now Linus Stern, but I think we don't know how long that piece will last. They're all vying for track position here and trying not to let that top 3 completely run away with it. Yeah, Toon?
Oh, absolutely. They are trying to get as many points and track positions as humanly possible. Yes, we are on lap 2, but if you can set yourself up for success in the beginning of the race, play your cards right, everything else will fall into line, and next thing you know, you'll be walking away with the very healthy 25 points.
Yes, you will. We had a little picture-in-picture there of Papa right in the middle of that chase, and now we're going to go on board with Caper in third as he looks to maybe make a move on Cole. He's certainly right in his slipstream. This isn't really a passing point in these final S's, though, but it will set you up for this last corner and this straight. Perhaps the move is on into turn 1, and sure enough, he's going to take that late apex there to maximize his exit out of the corner. Cole also got a great exit, and he does have the slipstream of Sheldo ahead of him, so Caper's charge here will be a bit tempered. Can he be brave on the brakes? No, he's going to stay behind Cole, but he is close behind, close enough that I think he might be looking to make a move. However, I don't think this is safe distance if you're trying to save tires.
At this point, he's going to be feeling a lot of dirty air, meaning he's going to have to demand a lot more from the tires to be able to keep up through these corners. Just want to note, these top 3, Sheldologist, Cole Trickle, and Caper, are all starting on the mediums. The top runner of the hard, I believe, is Papa with Digital Relay, and Pelias is the odd duckling there with the mediums. So a different array of tires being used at the beginning. The ones on the hards are going to be expected to do the whole race without a stop. The ones on the mediums are expected to come in by the end of the race because hards are a requirement.
That's right, but we do think those mediums are supposed to last the majority of the race for them. We're on board with Pelias Pango, who is on those mediums and unfortunately having to run at hard pace here. He is with Team Simufer, I think that's how you pronounce that. His last appearance was round 3 here. He got P8, currently has 11 points on the season, and his overall standing is P21. I think something's happening on the track there. Right now, we're still just on board with him. He's scrubbing those mediums a lot there behind Papa in that final corner. He's going to want to adjust that line or get past him, right? I mean, Toon, we've been talking about tires this whole time. It's not looking good for Pelias if that continues.
No, it's definitely not looking in Pelias' favor at the moment, especially because they have to deal with the likes of Papa and Digital Relay ahead of them on a harder compound. But it is to Papa's and Relay's advantage because they'll force Pelias to burn most of their tires, And if they play their cards right,
Oh,
and
wow,
Papa,
Papa.
goodness, no!
On the throttle, Papa, unfortunately, no, and the
Humanity!
knocks out another couple of people there at P10. You've got SF Oak behind him. Papa unfortunately loses it. You'll see on track exit here on the throttle. Yep, loses the back end. Just can't get it together. It's a spin here, but I really should have stopped here because here he backs up on track and just clatters into another driver that unfortunately got just tangled up, had nothing to do with it there. And Papa's race not going well right now. And I think that was Johnny Boy maybe who got also hurt. They probably got some damage on their car too. I don't even know if we can go back to what you were talking about. That was huge. What just happened?
That was commentator's curse 101. Unfortunately, Papa just lost control of the car, and it was an unsafe rejoin, sadly. But to the point on the tires, the hards might be the odds-on favorite to run a no-stopper, or we could see some magic happen like we did last night, where the mediums can pull off a no-stop if they play their cards right.
Got it. Well, you can do a no-stop on the mediums. You can pull it off if you want, but the hard is required. However, to your point, it's a very short pit stop here. If you can run the faster tire the whole race and jump in for a quick, 2 laps on the hards at the end of the race, then you're doing great. Man, Digital Relay really fighting for his position here against Pelias Pango, who again is on that medium compound rubber. Mind you, Pelias was looking to take advantage when Digital Relay was fighting with Papa, but that's no longer the situation here. Digital Relay looking to break the toe and get away from Pelias, and he is building a bit of a gap for himself. Pelias just doesn't have the pace on the mediums, or is really working hard to save them, whereas Digital Relay is feeling a bit more free as he goes a little bit wide in the last turn there. Actually, I think that's just his line. He just apexes it late. Pelias showing a different line through there, which you can take, and probably was the safer line with all that aero wash there. You know what, Hover, when you are dealing with aero wash, in fact, you take corners a little bit differently, right? What are some of the strategies that drivers would use when they're behind someone and they don't want to get caught out in that dirty air?
Well, especially with this race, with the slipstream being a bit stronger, as I say that, Digital has to do a little bit of a late defense to cover himself off. But going back, with kind of this weak slipstream, you have to more or less kind of choose and pick your battles with the corners, right? With the more mechanically grip inclined corners, you can push it a lot more, but with the faster speed corners, you're gonna have to take different lines, or you're gonna have to settle in and just try to focus on a good exit to be able to maximize the slipstream going onto the straightaways.
That's right. Amongst other things, one, obviously just braking a bit earlier when you're coming to those hard braking zones. That's just the natural, no matter what kind of corner it is. But then in these sweepers, you're gonna have to turn in a little bit earlier than you normally would. Otherwise, you're gonna go out wide. So that is something to be mindful of as Pelias looks to maybe make a move in the final corner here. Digital's line is wider. He looks to apex a bit later. Pelias learned that, takes advantage here, goes in and takes 4th place away from Digital Relay with ease. He's looking to be a bit defensive into turn 1 here. He sees Digital setting up for an over-under. Pelias goes deep on the brakes. Can Digital out-accelerate him with those hard tires? Ooh, he almost loses it. Almost loses the back end, just like Papa. This is what happened to Papa, just battling, and you get into it, you get on that throttle a little too hard, but Digital Relay running traction control, maybe leaning on it a bit to save him there. He is able to pick his position right back up, with Pelias pretty much taking a very similar line to what he was doing and how he got past in the first place. Yeah, Toon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a big game of tug of war between Pelias and Digital Relay, as well as between Johnny Boy and Felmora. So hopefully these drivers will be able to be cognizant. But I do see that he does have some front aero damage that will slow him down, wouldn't it?
It will, and you see here Felmora able to outrun him into the hairpin there and make a very clean pass on him, and it could be that arrow bothering him there, because it is just enough of a high speed and uphill run towards that hairpin that I could definitely see if Felmora got a better exit, he would beat him up the hill there. So he's got to decide if he's going to want to come in, jump in and fix that. Sheldologist has no such worry, still running safely up front. Capers tucked in right behind him, and I think if the move was on, we'd have seen it made. Cole Trickle is not too far behind them in third place there, but everyone else looking nice and neat. Oh, we have a battle for P4 going on in the picture-in-picture. I think we're going to go ahead and go there. Oh, a little bit of a touch between the two. That is Digital Relay and Pelias Pango there battling for P4. And, I don't know who was at fault there, or if a position will be given back if one was gained, but they're still going at it. Pelias Pango around the outside in the hairpin. What a brave move. Those mediums really working out for him. Digital Relay has no answer right now as they head through the downhill S's towards that most dangerous of chicanes. Your line has to be perfect through there. Pelias Pango taking a better line, but again, almost losing it on acceleration on those hard tires. Sorry, not Pelias, Digital Relay on the hard tires. And I think Pelias for now has secured his fourth place, but at this point, these two have been battling it out for a long time. Pelias Pango was he was stuck behind Digital Relay and Papa for so long. I wonder if he's worn those mediums out too much, though. Look at that front left already starting to work its way down to bald, Hover.
These are going to be the final few laps. Around 4 more laps to go until we expect these guys to go into the pits, because the mediums are just going to drop off the cliff and the transition point between faster hards is going to occur. But at the same time, some of these drivers, like Sheldologist, is really keeping these tires in check. So he's quite happy, he's quite healthy. But is it going to be enough of a time gap to be able to cover off Digital, which would be the first of the hard no-stop runners? That's going to be the question we have to wait and see.
Do we have any data on how long a pit stop takes here? It's a very short pit, and I believe the tire change animation is 2 seconds, but what's the pit delta?
Admittedly, I'm not quite sure exactly, but I do know that this track has one of the quicker pit stops for all the tracks in the game.
That's right. It is very fast and no fuel is needed, so a pit stop doesn't cost much. However, if you take an extra pit stop when no one else around you does, a time loss is a time loss. Though this is a track that rewards fresh rubber, right? There's so many corners like this one that we see caper in where you really need some front end bite, and you might be able to make up that time if you go for a two-stopper. But for the hard driver, the racing hard drivers, the no stop is the preferred strategy, of course. So pit window starting to open up for the medium drivers. They may be doing another medium stint or maybe even a soft stint before switching again to the hards. Do you think anyone's going to go medium hard, Toon?
Honestly, I think that might be the safest bet. I think the one stopper, you get your gap built up between your fellow compatriots, and you wear your mediums down until you absolutely can't anymore, which we are at the halfway point of the race, so they're following suit on that one. But going on to the hards is definitely going to be the next move for a lot of these drivers, just because it is the mandatory tire, and I think the last thing any of these drivers want is to get any sort of steward's inquiry or, judgments made for not taking the correct tire throughout the race.
For sure. I would agree. It's probably the safest bet, and then you have a bit more rubber left for the end of the race, but it's really hard to battle it out on hards, even against a slightly warm medium, but we'll see how it works out for those drivers. Of course, there are those who started on the hards that may not make them last, but they could jump on like the soft for the end of the race and still have that one stop strategy there and have a super light car and a super sticky tire. So lots of strategies at play tonight, which is one of the things we absolutely love about the NRL, to see what works and what doesn't work and see multiple things work here. Digital Relay still fighting Pelias Pango for that fourth place. They've been back and forth a ton of times here, and it still ain't over. I mean, Digital Relay on those hards has managed to catch back up to Pelias Pango who once had a gap. I do wonder if that front left is starting to bother him. And sure enough, on that right-hander, he does go wide. He manages to keep it on the track, though, and doesn't look like it's given Digital Relay too much of an advantage. That could also have just been a little bit of lag. He's a little wobbly for me, but he's going to want to be careful of those mistakes. Dirty tires are not a thing you want around here, especially as you get to slow, high acceleration corners or fast ones like this. Man, Digital Relay so brave following through that chicane there, Hover. That chicane is difficult forwards and backwards. What are the keys to that chicane going backwards, though? It's completely different.
It is different, but the philosophy is kind of the same, right? You need to be super aggressive on the apexes, and depending on the tires, that's how much comfortable you'll be. You want to cut over a little bit of grass, but you want to have the traction. As you see, that Elias gets the ending of that section a little bit wrong, but still ahead. So the chicane is very much dependent on how much you're willing to cut over the grass, but also maintaining rear end traction to get a good exit up on the hill. I just want to point out that currently Papa, Aero, Jimmy, and Felmora are the ones that have fulfilled the hard tires requirement so far, as well as Digital Relay, but we're expecting him to do a one stop or a no stop. The 4 others that I talked about are currently on a one stop strategy, but some of them is more due to the fact that they were caught on damage early on. Felmora is the top runner of the first pit stops with a set of softs in 7th, but currently he is expected to pit again by the end of the race.
Got it. Thanks for the rundown there. It's important to know whose tires are doing what. And you know what? That is a good reminder that Digital Relay is probably looking for the no stop there. So he really doesn't have to fight Pelias Pango. Pelias has to pit at some point, but maybe he doesn't know Pelias is on the medium tire, because honestly, he spent the whole race basically on pace with Digital Relay. Who's probably trying to make those hards last, I would imagine, just seeing his racing lines. It does look like that's his goal here, but he doesn't have to fight him. He's going to gain that position unless he really feels the need to pass and try to chase Cole Trickle there in 3rd and try to look for a podium here. Stumpy, we're on. Cole Trickle is in the pits now. He's on the medium tire, so he's got to probably go to the hard here. We'll see where he goes, but he's looking good on fuel. He comes out on the hard, sure enough, so maybe looking to, and he has to take evasive action there to avoid the oncoming Pelias Pango and Digital Relay. Good job for him doing that. I think he ended up in the grass just a little bit, unless that was part of the animation, but either way, good heads up driving there to not ruin that battle, but he comes right at the back of it with his fresh hard tires. And let's see if he's going to look to pass Digital Relay quickly, as he was battling for the final podium position here. And sure enough, he's probably going to work past these guys quickly. Toon, what do you think? I mean, he can hold off a little bit, but I don't think he wants to. It doesn't look like it.
No, Cole is definitely probably feeling a type of way right now, exiting into traffic, which is definitely a genuine concern for these drivers. There is no ghosting, and this is a very high-stakes race. And so Cole does have the advantage of the pressure hard tires, but due to Pelias having more mediums, that will inadvertently slow down Digital Relay on a set of broken-in hards. And so really Cole's going to have to sit here and calculate when to try and get a 2-for-1 special if possible. And it looks like that moment's coming sooner than expected, as Cole sends it at the inside.
Yeah, that was quite stendy, but hey, you know what? When it's all to play, you have to be bold. Again, we are seeing a little bit of lag from drivers. You see 2 jump into the pits now. Pelias Pango is going to get out of that battle and jump into the pits. Stumpy behind him, leaving Digital Relay to not only gain that position, but to find himself with maybe a chance to get Cole Trickle. I don't think he really could fight Cole here, though, but maybe wanting to do something. Felmora is going to come out on the softs, though. So Felmora, who started, I believe, on the hards. Wait, did Felmora start on the hards, Hubbard? Do you remember?
Felmora started on the hards, but due to the damage he picked up early on, he was forced into the pits and decided to go on the softs. But again, he has to get off them because those softs were not going to last.
I gotcha. So he's going to go with the hard, soft strategy, most likely, which I do believe one driver mentioned doing if he took damage early. So Felmora, following bad advice there, he's going to try to maximize his speed on track and sacrifice the time needed to pit. We're looking at Papa here, who's sitting in 12th place behind PSG Arrow in 11th. Arrow's on the mediums. I believe I saw Papa on the hard tire there, so he's going to stay out probably. PSG Caper is finally in on the mediums. Let's talk about Arrow. This guy's been solid. So he's also at Papa's House of Games. So that's his boss behind him there in a very similar livery. He got P10 in the last round. He's got 9 points over the season. And his overall standing is P23 in Division B. You can find him on YouTube at ArrowGT7. And you can see him being chased by Papa there. Arrow has been a stalwart in this series, and while he doesn't have the most points in Division B, he's always around, and you can usually count on him for a pretty decent battle here. As we're looking at Papa chasing him down on the POV. Hover, is anything going on in the back that we need to know, or any interesting pit strategies?
Right now, there's currently a small battle between P11 and P12, but we just got off that, and we have the cam on it. In terms of interesting strategies, Kamora came out on another set of saws, as we stated before. Johnny Boy is going to have to come into the pits, lap 15, and his soft tires are really wearing down. Besides that, it's pretty much what we were expecting this race to unfold as such. Digital Relay is pretty much kind of falling away from Cold Trickle. Cold Trickle having a fresher set of cards. Elias behind 12 seconds. I don't see him having enough time to catch back up.
Got it. Thank you. And I do see that, we've got some drivers pretty close to one another, a couple of battles yet to play out, but because of the disparate strategies, a lot of this is expected to kind of come together towards the end. That's usually how it works out. Toon, when you are on a different strategy to your closest competitors, are you good at knowing, like, hey, this is going to come to a head, like on the last couple of laps, or do you kind of feel like, okay, I'm in no man's land and I don't know what's going to happen?
Honestly, it all depends on what I am doing and what I'm noticing in the nuances of the car ahead of me's driving style. So if I see them pulling away from me in the corners, then it's always safe to assume they're on a stronger tire than I am. So it's going to be a case of, if I see that happening consistently, then I'm not going to feel confident that it's all going to come to a head. But if I do see myself gaining on them in the corners inch by inch, then towards, 4 or 5 laps of that, then yeah, I feel I'm going to have to start calculating how to go about doing the overtake. But there's so many different factors that go into it that I can't really make that judgment call or, plan ahead until it's presented right in front of me.
I gotcha. That sense of anticipation, though, when you do see the time going down, whether it's you in the car ahead of you or the car behind you, is something I relish, actually. I love that. I do love when the end of a race comes to a close battle. As we say that, Stumpy and Pelias Pango look to be looking to finish this race in a close one. Stumpy on the racing hards behind Pelias Pango, who is in P5. We saw that's where he was fighting with Digital Relay for a lot of this race, and he's a pretty far way behind Digital Relay, but of course will have fresh tires on. Behind them is Felmora, looming like a shark. So this could be coming to a three-way battle here. Three-way battle for P5, or maybe even P4 if they catch up to Digital Relay, who will be on hards that for sure are suffering by now. He was doing a great job saving them, but he was in a lot of battling early on in this race. Pelias Pango not running away from Stumpy, though. Do we know what tire he's on?
Pelias is currently running on...
Oh! Pelias spins! Pelias loses it in the chicane! That chicane we said was so dangerous! That is the first time we've seen him have a big incident. Let's see how it happened. He's coming out of the hairpin now. He's going to head to that downhill left-hander. And then you have to be right on your braking point, correct on your braking point, rather, for the chicane. Yeah, a little bit of a late apex, and then on throttle, I think. Loses the back end there? I wouldn't... I wouldn't. He did get lucky that he ghosted there, so no damage for anyone. Luckily for the drivers behind him and himself, but he's going to be kicking himself. There's not enough time to make up for that, and it did seem to be on throttle, which was weird. But we're going to take a look. We've got a replay. Well, we don't have a replay, but we did get an overtake here. Felmora now in fifth over Stumpy. Toon, do we think that maybe that was that incident was advantageous for Felmora? Maybe a big distraction for Stumpy. He was, very close to clattering into Pelias.
Honestly, that definitely worked out in Fillmore's favor, mainly because they were coming down the hill and towards the chicane, and they saw a Pelias Pango just facing the wrong direction, which probably caused both of their hearts to stop for a split second. But it looks like Fillmore was the least phased by it and was able to capitalize on the confusion and the drama of what we had witnessed a lap prior in this section of the track.
100%, I do think that's what happened, because with that kind of ghosting, this game is pretty diabolical. The car looks solid. You have no idea it's gonna ghost. You just take a deep intake of breath. Sheldologist is up front, still on those original mediums that he has made go through lap 19, but he's got a pit here for the hards. I don't think we've seen him take the hards yet, so I imagine he's gonna jump in at the last minute here. On lap 20, maybe. Am I missing something, Hover, about Sheldo's strategy here?
Nope, he's been on this set of mediums for the entire time. So at the end of this lap, he's going to have to go into the pits and go kick a set of hards. But he's built himself such a strong gap that he is under no pressure coming out of the pits.
No, he's not. And you know what? I know the NRL rule book, but there are some intricacies that are easy to forget when you do comms for a ton of leagues. But is there a rule against taking your mandatory tire on the last lap in this league?
There's no rule against that. That is a fair game. Good old daily race strategy there.
Then Sheldo is in a really good spot here. He's got an almost 18-second lead on Caper. I believe that that's enough. Caper may even be on the same strategy. I know he was on mediums, and I don't think he's pitted. No, I think I saw Caper's name pit. Either way, Sheldologist now into the pit, so let's see what happens. Caper has pitted. He's on fresh hards. He is taking the last corner right now. Will he come out ahead of Sheldologist? It may be incredibly close. Right behind him is Cole Trickle. Will it be a three-way battle for first in this final lap? Sheldo is out of the pits. Oh, and he's out of the pits by a long way. 6 seconds. It does not come down to a battle. Sheldo has played this perfectly, and now all he has to do is take it home, take it easy. Those are cold, hard tires. Caper and Cole are probably going to know that and want to take advantage, and they're not going to want to be slow. Sheldologist has to be careful here, right, Toon?
Oh yeah, he's got to be pretty careful. Those are fresh tires, and honestly, with how points hungry these two are, even the slightest inch that Sheld gives either of them, they're going to take probably a couple miles, even though there aren't a couple miles left in this race. But the metaphor,
they'll find them. They'll find them. They'll find them. You'd be like, how did you end up finding more miles in a track that what? Anyway, Caper holds on to second. That doesn't look like Cole can challenge here. They are catching up to Sheldo, but that is probably because Sheldo is cruising it home. He knows he doesn't have to push. He doesn't need a fastest lap. Felmora actually has that and should gain the point for it as he sits in 5th place now. Sheldologist goes through the last corner. Nice and neat. He's going to cross the line here, a solid 4 seconds ahead of his competitors. In 2nd place, Caper will cross the line, being chased by Cole Trickle in 3rd. They all 3 take the checkered flag pretty close to one another. Digital Relay with a 4th place. Well done. Solid no-stop race there for Digital Relay. Felmora will take 5th place, finishing on some pretty worn softs here. Congratulations to him for the top 5. Stumpy crossed the line in 6th. Pelias Pango was doing so well. We saw him in a ton of battles. He finishes in 7th place, wagging that tail across the line. He should be proud of his performance tonight. Jimmy K9 will cross the line in 8th place. as we start to sunset this race, we just have 4 more drivers working their ways through the S's in the final corner. Now, here comes Johnny boy. Here's Johnny in that Dr. Pepper SC430. I love these liveries, guys. It's so great. But Johnny is going to take 9th place for this race. SF Oak Drum W, a new driver to us, I believe, will take 10th place. He's been here all season, though. And in 11th, Papa will finish that unfortunate incident for him in the first half of the race. And then in 12th place, I believe I saw a name that will be Arrow was in P12. That's who it was. So Arrow finishing out the order here. Congratulations to Sheldo. I can't wait to talk to him soon here. Toon, if you could please read the finishing results of this race.
It would be my pleasure. Taking a look at the provisional classified results for our Saturday Division B race, taking the overall race victory with a clean race and pole position will be Sheldologist with an overall race time of 29 minutes, 9 seconds, .34. Coming in about a little over 4 seconds behind him will be PHG Caper, who was in a very heated battle for a good portion of the race with our last step on the podium finisher, Cole Trickle. Now, none of these three get the honors of that bonus point, though. As we make our way down the grid, we have S7R Digital Relay in P4 with Felmora rounding out our top 5 and taking that extra bonus point for having the fastest lap throughout the race. Making our way down the order, we've got Stumpy in P6, followed by SMFR Pelias Pangolin and FAF Jimmy K9 sitting in P8. Making our way down the grid, we have BHR's Johnny Boy, followed by SF Oak Drum W, rounding out our top 10, with PHG Papa, the proprietor of Papa's House of Game, sitting in P11, and PHG Arrow rounding out our racers for this event as the clouds start rolling in, Tati.
The clouds are rolling in, but it's too late. We're done. That is a problem for the crew who has to pack these cars and those tents away. You, me, and Hovercraft, we're gonna be safe in the booth here, and the drivers will be in their trailers cooling off. Man, that was a race, and I'm grateful. It seems that all three of us have an appreciation for both the track and the cars there. Hover, did you see anything surprising in this race? I mean, you kind of had your eye in the sky with the second camera.
You know, we'll talk to a shutologist here, but I think he is arguably the most impressive driver that I saw today. He was able to figure out how to manage the car and the mediums on the 2 sweepers. And what I noticed compared to everyone else is for the first sweeper, he did a lot more of a higher entry speed, but replacing the mid apex speed with a lot of coasting. This caused the front tires to just have a lot less G forces put on it. That way, on exit, he's coming out of the corner just as quickly, but with less tire wear. And then for the final sweeper, he was entering the corner on a much wider angle, forcing himself to go a little bit slower on the mid apex once again, and picking up the throttle and still saving a relatively good amount of time, but at a huge benefit in tire wear.
That is amazing insight from you, Hover, and that is why I asked you. We are now joined by our 3 podium drivers now, though, so we'll start with you, Cole, and ask you a couple of questions. Toon, do you have any questions for Cole, or a question, rather?
I do actually. Cole, first off, it's been a while. Hope you've been well. Let me know what your thoughts were when you were exiting the pits into the traffic with P4 and P5 and you had to take that evasive action.
Yeah, good to see you again, too. Well, I wasn't sure what tires they were on. They could have been on either hards or mediums. So, but either way, I thought I had the tire wear advance on them. So I was just waiting for an opening. I was kind of hoping to get out in front of them, but it is what it is. They did a great job keeping up great pace. So I had to battle with them for a second, waited for the opening. I was able to get inside on the one turn. So then I think one of them went into the pits. So lucked out there.
Yeah, it looks like the stars did indeed align for you, Cole. Well done on the P3.
Thank you, sir.
And Hover, do you have anything for Cole?
Yeah, great race. With this P3 result, even before this race, you're pretty much guaranteed to go into the final. So, how confident are you seeing the Friday side and finishing out the Saturday side? How confident are you going into the finals?
Well, there's a lot of good drivers over there too, so probably not the most confident. To be honest, got a few drivers here on this side, so I think it could be anybody's race, really.
Well, I mean, you had an incredible season. You should be finishing out this season, the regular season, if you call it, in the second place on the Saturday side. So I have a feeling he'll stack up quite well to the rest of the field going into the finals.
Good, thank you.
I have to agree with that, Cole. Don't sell yourself short. I think you're going to stack up well, too. With that said, of course, there's always something that would make you feel more confident. So, my question is, if you could have your dream combo for this final race, what is the one you know you can win?
Sardegna Rally.
Oh, sorry, dang no rally. Well, we've had a rally final before. Perhaps the NRL McNaughty gods will smile upon you. We'll find that out at the end of the broadcast. Thank you, Cole. Congratulations on the third place. I can't wait to see you in the final. I think you're going to do great.
Thank you very much, Tati, and congratulations on the fourth win in a row to Sheldo, and congratulations, Caper, on the P2. Very well done. Take care.
Thank you so very much. And speaking of Caper, I do see that he's in here. Caper, congratulations on second place. I'm actually going to pass you over to Hover for his first question. I just wanted to say that to you.
Thank you.
Well, Caper, congratulations on the P2. Another great result for the season, especially considering going into this race, you were standing on 19 points. So 18 points, you should be coming out with 37 points, provisionally, of course, meaning
Cool.
this is pretty much a golden ticket into the finals. What were your thoughts at the beginning of the race?
My main focus for the race was just try to keep up and don't crash. Like, it's very easy. I don't know if you guys saw lap 2. Cole got up on the curb and he kind of switched sideways, and I thought, oh, please don't spin, because we're both dead. But I mean, that couldn't have went any better for me. I really wish I could have chased Sheldo down, but I mean, you guys see it. We can't catch him. He's too fast.
But hey, you had a great execution. The strategy was in your favor today, and like I said, today's result, and I'm fairly confident you just punch yourself a ticket to the finals. So, congratulations on the race. Toon, do you have any questions for Mr. Caper?
I sure do. Caper, you had quite the battle between yourself and Cole for a good portion of the race. What were some of the keys that you had to focus on to try and keep him at bay and prevent him from stealing those 18 points you just copped?
Well, I mean, it really wasn't about keeping him at bay. I knew he was locked in, so he's not going to try to crash or anything. And if he would have caught up to me, I just would have let him go. A third or a second here is just as good either way to me. I didn't want to risk anything. Maybe the first lap sent it on Pango a bit, but I mean, there was no risk. I mean, if he would have caught me, I'm just going to pull over, let him go, because there was a good gap.
I can respect that. Over to you, Tati.
Yeah, huge respect for that, Caper. I mean, listen, you followed Sheldo, and he is hard to catch, honestly. But you did what you had to do to get your way into the finals. I think I'm asking everybody the same question. What is your dream combo for this final? What gets Caper a championship ring in NRL?
I don't know, man. Maybe group ones at Spa in the rain, something like that.
Oh, in the rain. Caper,
Or
why are
Red
you
Bulls,
like this? Why are
or
you like
or,
this?
or Red Bulls or something like that. That'd be good too.
Listen, you know what? I love a good rain race. Not to be in it, obviously hate that part, but I love how rain is an equalizer and brings chaos. So I'm with it too. Congratulations. We will see you in the final as well. And now, a man who, quite frankly, we're starting to get a little bit sick of talking to. Sheldo, you're the winner again. What's up, man?
Tati, Toon, Hover, how are you guys? I'm excellent. First off, big congratulations to Caper on the P2 and Slow Trickle there on P3. Creek there, he really gave Caper a big run for second, and it kind of sucks he got caught up in traffic on the outlap, but he did really well.
Yes, he did, and obviously you did too. So I'm going to pass you on to Toon here, who may have a couple questions for you.
All right. Well, Sheld, congratulations on being the first person in NRL history to have a triple-digit season in terms of points. And hopefully you enjoy Barbados and watch the finals there. So my question for you is, you went 19 laps and then pitted on the last lap. What did you have to do to make sure your tires were standing long enough to put that strategy into practice so you could get yourself a free pit stop and run away with the race?
Well, Hover kind of nailed it in the post race briefing or debrief, I guess. Just needed to really take care of the last or the front left tire. As much of a high speed race as this was a tire saving race. You needed to keep your tires alive, run consistent laps, and just kind of hit that apex or the apex speed at a consistent rate, coasting through those corners and just power out and get your exit speed as much as you could. I knew I was losing time down the front straight to Caper every single lap, but I was gaining it coming around the long right hander where you can hook your tire on the curb, which also helped with the tire wear.
Interesting. So kind of dipping the tire in the grass to cool it off. And okay, that was actually very, very brilliant. I'd expect no less from you, Sheldo. Off to you, Hover.
Hey, shout out! Congratulations on a the first driver ever to get triple digits. It's a great accomplishment, and as I was kind of saying overall that you took different lines compared to the rest of the field for the sweepers, but I also noticed you, you know, putting in a lot less steering input on exit and just trying to rotate the car more with throttle or sliding the rears a little bit, depending on what the car needed at that time. But I wanted to ask, especially towards closer to the beginning of the race, your difference in driving did cause a little bit of extra time and it allowed Caper and Cole to smell blood in the water. How much did the pressure affect you when they were really, really trying to abuse their tires to try to do anything in response to your P1?
I figured I knew Caper was really pushing it because I could always see him around the last right hander. He'd always gain on me on corner entry and through the mid corner. So I knew he was really pushing that front tire. I figured he'd be pitting around lap 14, 15. He definitely gave me a run early on, and my whole strategy was just weather the storm for the first 5 or 6 laps, let them use up their tires, keep my tires alive, run those consistent 26 mid 26s for the entire race, and not forget to pit on the penultimate lap.
Those things accumulated to another wonderful win. So, congratulations on the win. We're hoping to see you in the finals. Very quickly, I guess, Toddy, let me ask you, Shelda, what are you hoping to see in the finals?
Wait, whoa, that's my question. What?
Okay, then Toddy.
No, it was what he was hoping to see, not his dream finals. There's a difference.
Now, I'm putting a kibosh upon this question until I ask it. Thank you.
Tati, off to you.
Off to me. By the way, viewers, I hope y'all heard that tip. Hook that tire in, Sheldologist, aka Rudolph Caracciola. We're gonna name that corner the carousel after you. It's the Sheldologist carousel. Sheldo, if you don't go on vacation this time, what is the combo you're gonna win?
Oh, that's hard to say because there's so many fast drivers in this field, like Cole and Caper and Sean on the other side, Corridor. Who else am I? JP. They're all fast, so it really could come down to who meshes with the combo the best. For me, I don't think we've seen it in NRL in a while, so this might be where he's going. Something like Suzuka in I don't even know what kind of group would be. It got to be a group one, maybe super formula, something high speed, high downforce would be awesome. Me being selfish would want a dry race, but I'm good with the rain as well. Whatever McNaughty throws at us is going to be a challenge for all of us. We're all in the same conditions, and may the best driver win.
May the best driver win, absolutely. And yeah, you have some real tough competition. You're in a Friday sandwich, by the way. It is all Friday in the top four except for you, Sheldologist. Please make Saturday proud.
I'm
But
just the cherry on top.
yes, you're the cherry on top. Congratulations on yet another win, Sheldo. Congratulations to all three of you, actually, for the podium. I, again, cannot wait to see you all. And I hope you get your dream combos for this next round. But right now, it's going to be Division A's turn. First, though, we'll take a quick break, and we'll see you guys in just a few minutes.
Hi, I'm Mark Goldstein, and welcome to Hankey's. We are located in the heart of Old Town Florissant, 901 North Lafayette, a few blocks down from Sacred Heart Church and Hendel's Market Cafe. This local establishment started in 1926. The Hankey's family bought the bar from the Schraders in 1955. And then turned into what it is today, Hankey's Tavern. And in 2021, a group of local investors became owners of Hankey's Tavern. Recently, we went from a dirt pile to a full-fledged patio, which has bags and washers, entertainment on Friday, Saturday night, which we hope to extend that. We have extended our kitchen hours, which is a request for many, many years. We do have draft beer back after a 12-year lull of no draft beer. We have brought that back with Budweiser as our mainstay, since this was a Budweiser bar in 1926, right before Prohibition.
We're still doing the crinkle cut fries and our cheeseburger platters, but now we have a couple new creative ideas that our kitchen staff has came up with. So come in and try our homemade chicken lollipops. We smoke them fresh daily and then fry them and top them with a Asian butter sauce, and then topped with green onions as well. That's our biggest hit right now that we have on our menu. Each and every day we make fresh sauces, and we take pride in that. We feel like we have a very good variety of sauces that pair well with our appetizers. Whether you want to come in here for lunch with just you and a buddy, or you want to come in here with you and your whole group of people, whether it's 20 people, 200 people, we feel like we can accommodate everyone and anybody.
As of this year, we've done something that it hasn't happened in the history of this establishment. We do accept credit cards. We established a Hankey's Helps non-for-profit organization that reaches out to friends in need. Hankey's is a community bar. We have a lot of the regulars from years past still attending. We have a lot of the regulars that have left our area that are coming back in droves to see what's going on. Hours of operation is from 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. The kitchen hours are from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Find out more information about Hankey's on our Hankey's Facebook page, Hankey's Tavern. We put the band, when the bands are going to be here, the events are going to be here. Come join us at Hankey's Tavern for a burger and a beer. You'll enjoy all the new items that we have, and you'll enjoy all our new improvements. So we look forward to seeing you in the future. Again, join us on our Facebook page, or you can call us at 314-386-1525 to get a carry-out order, or if you have any questions.
Witness a lakefront transformation right here in the Point. And you may not believe it, but just last year, this home was down to the studs.
All right, guys, we're back, and man, things are really shaping up, or I guess they're shaped up on the Division B side. We'll run you through those results soon in the broadcast. But now it's time to run you through our second race of the afternoon. This is round 4 for Division A. We are headed to the French region of Alsace, heading to a racetrack that, I love to hate. Alsace Village. Of course, there is a qualifier here of 10 minutes. Tire wear will be set to 3x with fuel at 2x. The initial fuel for the qualifier is 30 liters, so these cars will be running lean. Speaking of the car, they are in the Mines BNR 34 GTR N1 base, which is an incredible vehicle. It's a grid start with false start check. BOP is on, no brake balance or any sort of tuning allowed. They've got 16 laps around here, and with that relatively high tire wear, it can use all tires. None are required. So, Toon, if you could please help us out with the point scoring allocations.
Absolutely. As you see on screen, it follows the previous F1 model. So the race winner will nab a very generous 25 points, with second place taking 18. Last up on the podium will get 15, and from fourth on down it starts at 12, all the way down to 1 point in 10th. Now, the fastest lap is an additional bonus point, which these drivers will definitely want to try and nab, but it's only awarded if you place in the top 10 after the race is finished. The top 14 overall drivers from today and yesterday will be moving on to the finals for their respective division next week.
Yes, and Hovercraft, let's talk about those drivers. Can you please read our Division A lineup?
Of course, today, right now, the people we see on the grid will be Colin Ballistics, FAF Bobadito, his teammate Slowpoke Rods, his other teammate Wade, Island Grown 777, Jorge Senior, K Naranjo, Sector 7's Nuke, PDX Roland, PhD Josh Moments, the other S7R Racing teammate with Mr. Racing 40, Slick, Talon, and Dukai. Those who are on the side of their names, you will see their YouTubes and or Twitch. Go over to their channels to watch their POV of the race, but don't forget to keep us open on a separate tab. That way you miss nothing on the main broadcast.
That's right. And you know what? Just like the Division B race, you definitely don't want to miss anything on this main broadcast. You know, before we get on track, let's have a talk about this combo. The car is insane. You don't see it used a lot. It is a special edition of the R34 GTR. 600 something horsepower, by the way. However, it is an all-wheel drive car. I mean, this is Godzilla, and to some people it's the best Godzilla, and it's on a track, Alsace Village, which is very swoopy and really enjoyable, actually. Hovercraft, have you had a chance to actually drive this car on this combo?
Yeah, I've driven the car a little bit, admittedly not as much as I would have liked, but yeah, I mean the car has really good engine output, but the car kind of lacks a little bit in terms of the aerodynamics that you would expect from the car, making it a little bit understeery. I have a lot of experience with this circuit, funnily enough, because I hold some of the top 10 times for the circuit experience for the sectors on this track. Yeah, I mean the track is very much well known for the different levels of elevation, some of the cambers some of these corners have, and the fact that you have to navigate kind of a slippery track surface as you would.
Yeah, you do. And honestly, this track, there's so many kind of long or slower corners, and a lot of corners that actually have decreasing radius. So understeer is the last thing that you want here. And I don't think drivers can adjust the torque split there. So, Tune, insights on how they mitigate. What do they have to do to drive this track fast and not eat up those front tires?
Honestly, breakpoints and apexes are going to be the name of the game for this one. If you think your breakpoint is good, you might want to push it back just a hair to try and preserve a little tire life and try not to put too much heat into those tires as you are hammering onto the brakes and then trying to make an abrupt adjustment into the turn.
That's right. We're going to join for some on-track action here to see these drivers actually put these principles in practice. We are on board right now. We're looking at, rather, K Naranjo, aka Oak. He's with Moose Mafia Racing, and he's been around for a good while here. He got P4 in the last race at the Nürburgring. He has 31 points for the season, and his overall standing is P13. So he will need his points today to ensure his spot, but I think he's got it. I can't wait to see him. LB Oak is super fast, and we will definitely expect to see him, if not in the top 3, then in the top 5 here. This is one of my favorite corners around here. I call it the roller coaster. In fact, the sound design in this game, ever since they've introduced this track, it does kind of sound like an old wooden roller coaster clacking along there. Just the sounds they make the cars make, which is interesting. Here's Talon. He's been around for a good bit. Got P6 in the last round, and he's not associated with any team, so he's racing for himself. He's got 21 points this season. He's P15 overall in Division A, so I think we'll also see him in the final here. I think that was a look at Jorge behind him there. You guys are normally Friday, but are you aware of how dominant Jorge has been on Saturday?
Oh yeah, I know exactly how dominant Jorge is. He started out on the Friday side. Him and Wid have had legendary battles between each other across multiple promotions and multiple seasons. So honestly, Jorge is the odds-on favorite in my book to just completely run away with this race. But that would be doing a grave injustice to the likes of Oak and also Talon. So I'm going to sit here with high anticipations for this race.
Look, you've got Oak, you've got Talon, you've got. Do we have Kai today? I don't think I saw Kai. We do have Kai today, so yeah, the competition up top is going to be insane. Last time around 2 weeks ago, we saw Jorge make and quite frankly ridiculous comeback at the Nürburgring to take the race win. I'm pretty sure we're going to see all these drivers in the final, including Wid, who put on a great performance himself last night. Guys, Division A this season, well, every season is wild, but I think with the way the divisions were divided today, or this season rather, the coming together of Friday and Saturday is going to make a spectacular clash. Are we going to start seeing some lap times come in? I think this is Cotton's first fast lap, first flying lap rather. He's coming through the final corners here. This chicane is, or not chicane, hairpin is one of my favorite, most hated corners in all of motorsport, even though this track doesn't exist. Like, it's awful. Oh, and Stumpy into the grass. Sorry, Cotton into the grass. It's not going to help, but the all-wheel drive kind of saved him there. He didn't spin it out, but, you know, it's not going to be fast through there. He's going to come through this final chicane here, and he's going to give us a time. Talon is not too far behind him, so we'll watch them both as Cotton carefully navigates that. He's going to cross the line with a 156.317. Talon with a 156.6 behind him. Jorge up top all the way with a 155.341, so almost a full second ahead of Cotton Ballistics there. Kay Naranjo slots into fourth right now. Mr. Racing into sixth because Roland just jumped up to P2 with a 156.130. These guys still have some time though. Hover, this first flying lap, I mean, are your tires even fully warm in this car?
Certainly, but the problem isn't really the tire warmth, it's the tire wear. As we see Jorge's front two tires just almost 40% done already after only 2 laps. So expect to see some of these drivers fall into the pits on this at the end of this lap. That way they get 1 or 2 more goes before the qualifying session ends.
You're absolutely right. I didn't even notice those front tires. That is insane. The Kai's tire. Look at that up front there. Speaking of the Kai, he's a free agent, very quick driver from Britain, as Flawed loves to point out. He got P2 in the last round as Jorge just last minute caught up to him due to maybe a strategy blunder there, but a very quick driver. He's got 68 points on the season, and overall, he sits in P3 right now in Division A. But yeah, he's going to want to pit to take some tires too. I just want to make a quick shout out, another stylistic choice here between Papa and Jorge, both sitting on BBSRSs for today's race. I love it, okay? Shout out to the old school. Roland, part of those PDX guys, those guys that do the Dumb Guys Do Racing podcast, not a dumb guy as he sits in P3. Of course, he is with PDX Sim Team. He got P7 this last race. He's got 15 points on the season. Currently sits P19. So he has to get it together this race, Toon. Yeah, to make sure he gets that spot.
Oh yeah, it's make or break time, and honestly, with the point spread we're seeing for Roland with the 15, every little bit is going to go a long way. So a podium will help monumentally. A P4 would even do him some justice. But yeah, it's getting to the point where fastest lap, getting as high as possible on the grid are all going to be the make or break point for a lot of these drivers who are on that bubble.
Yep, we see how carefully he navigated that final chicane there to maximize his exit. He's got fresh tires for this flying lap. He looks like he's coming out with a little bit of traffic ahead of him on colder tires, but I do think they're far enough ahead that it shouldn't affect his lap here. It's the last thing you want around here, though. Dirty air should not affect this car as much. To Hover's point, doesn't make as much downforce as you think. I mean, I don't see a lot anyway. A couple canards up front and a wing on the back that isn't particularly large. So this is definitely going to be a mechanical grip car that all-wheel drive should help pull these drivers out of the slow corners. But sweepers like this are where it's going to hurt them. Yeah, Hover, that front tire wear, as you pointed out, is horrendous.
Yeah, it doesn't help with the all-wheel drive system, right? The all-wheel drive system excels for short corners, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter the angle, it just needs to start and end quickly. But this track is characterized by these long sweeping corners. So you really have to wait until you get back on the throttle on exit as Roland almost goes wide onto the grass. You have to wait because the all-wheel drive system is only going to be counteractive to your main goal of going fast.
That's right. And without being able to adjust the torque split, it's not like you can send more power to the back to try and mitigate that. So yeah, to your point, it's your friend in the slow corners. It is your enemy in the fast ones, and you have to be careful about how soon you get on the throttle. Roland pulling out of that hairpin really well there. We're going to see where he slots in. He currently sits P3, about 8/10 of a second behind Jorge. The Kai jumped himself up to P2 with a 155.887. Let's see where Roland ends up. Track position is important here. There are some good passing points, but it's no, actually, you can pass. You can pass. I think track position matters always, of course, but I think they'll do well, even not improving from P3. So Roland possibly going to be second row this time around. He'll get one more go at it. Nuke, our teammate, Hover, he is trying his best to make sure he gets into the final here. He's, of course, with Sector 7 Racing. He finished P9 last round, and he's got 12 points for the season. He sits in P22. Hover, we got to get our guy on the podium. I'm sorry. I can't say that. You can find him at Sector 7 Racing on YouTube. That's our fearless leader there, and good luck to him.
Absolutely. You may not want to say it, but I definitely want to say it. I want to see a new podium today. But no, I mean, Nuke has been very strong. Last season he was in Division B, so this season he actually got himself up to the major leagues. And he's not doing too bad. He may not have the experience necessarily. Well, he was in Division A, I think, previous season, but he is certainly punching above his weight, and he has some good results to his name.
Absolutely. You know what? I don't think he's above his weight. He was batting 400 in AAA, and you're right. Now he's up here in the major leagues. Speaking of which, here's our own personal Shohei, Jorge. I love these Jorge v. Wid battles in the finals. And last season, we also got the Kai. Actually, I think, did Wid miss the last final tune? Do you remember?
Honestly, it is eluding me, but I think Wid did make it.
Did make it.
Yeah, he did make it.
Okay.
Yeah, and they had, of course, a typical battle between himself and Jorge. So it's always a delight to see those two on track together.
You know what? I can't believe I don't remember it, but there's just so much good racing. It just becomes a blur at some point. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this league, and I hate that we're nearing the end of this season, but the next one usually comes up quicker than we think. The Kai with one more chance here. He's not going to beat Jorge's time, though he does improve his own time, but he will start this thing in P2. Cotton Ballistics is in P6. Let's see if he can jump up, maybe knock someone down. Oh, well, not if you touch the wall. He does not improve there. Jorge, of course, is done. Ooh, classic gold face with the chrome polish rim. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't get over it. Let's see. Oh, was Oak always a P3 K run though there with 155? He got it in the last lap is what I'm hearing. So Oak into the second row. Congratulations to him. That first turn is pretty wide, but you do want a certain line through there. So hopefully that helps out. Do we have anyone who has not finished their fast lap? I think everyone looks pretty slow on the track. We got 30 seconds before qualifying officially ends, but I think we can kind of start talking about it and start talking about the challenges we saw Hover. Lots of tire wear issues there for drivers. What was the most, did you notice the most common lap for people to pit and go ahead and take those fresh ones?
So we're going to be expecting kind of three kind of strategies, if you will, but that's mostly due to how well these guys are able to manage the tires. No stop on hards is possible, but you're going to have to do a lot of management. Mediums, two mediums is also possible. So we're going to be expecting a lap 8 pit. We also can see some a two stop medium, medium, medium. That's going to be around lap 5 to lap 7 for your first pit stop, and then you want to cut it even for the last third. It just really depends on how much these guys want to push their tires.
Yeah, well, pushing tires at Alsace is it's a risky strategy. I haven't seen that it has ever worked. It is a track that you want to be kind to your tires on, as a front end bite is obviously very rewarded here. So these are our classified qualifying results. Starting in P1, we'll have Jorge with a 155.129. Alongside him will be the Kai with a 155.410. On the second row, K Naranjo, aka Oak, got himself a 155.923. Roland from Team PDX made his way into P4 with a 155.992. Talon will start in P5 with a 156.310, and Cotton Ballistics will round out that third row with a 156.317. In seventh place is S7R's Mr. Racing 40 with a 156.490, alongside his teammate S7R's Nuke in eighth with a 156.504. On the fifth row alone is Mr. Island Grown with a 158.696. So 9 racers on this track. It's a fairly large track, but it's got lots of corners, which kind of keeps the racing close, I believe. This track is what, 3 miles or something? I think like 3.5 miles long. Tune. Close racing around here. Have you had some good battles on this track?
Oh yeah, I've had plenty of good battles on this track, and yeah, about three and some change miles for this circuit. And honestly, I think this track gets quite a bit of unnecessary hate. It's a very fun circuit. It's technical, it's flowy, it's the best of both worlds. It really keeps you on your toes, but also gives you a sense of comfort. So honestly, a great combination. This car is going to be brutal on those tires, so these drivers are really going to have to lock in and really put all their practice efforts into practice.
I agree with you. I think this track does not get the love it deserves, but it is one of those tracks that the racing can be incredible, but only if everyone knows how to race. However, we talked about drivers practicing with other people on track in the last race. On this one, I think dog fights are a huge thing, whether you're saving tires or not. I think we can expect to see drivers try to do a mix of the two.
Yeah, I think so too. There's really only one true straight, and that's going to be right after turn one. Every other section of the circuit, you don't have enough time to get into the slipstream and try to slingshot yourself past before the next corner. So it's going to be really important for these guys to get their positions early on in the race, because the longer this race goes, you're not exactly sure as to what the rest of the group around you are going to do, especially with their tire wear conservation. So, you really just want to get a good position early on and just kind of run your race. Just put your head down and keep on going.
Agreed, agreed. Man, this track, yeah, it ain't for the weak. Races around here can be really tough, but also so rewarding when you in here. This is a really good combo to test drivers of the Division A caliber, and for a lot of them, this is a make or break race to get into that divisional final. So, an appropriate combo and track for an appropriately weighty championship round here. So we should expect to get on track pretty soon. I think drivers are getting ready. Just a few seconds here. A great start around here is something. Tune that turn one. It's wide, but it's got weird camber.
Yeah, turn one is going to be very interesting for these drivers, especially because turn one comes up so fast for the drivers that they'll barely have time to get their traction control all the way off. So we might see some drivers start, TC1 or TC2, And some of the drivers might still be in that traction control level, or maybe one lower if you start on 2 by the time you get to turn 1, and then you're going to have to pretty much adjust your traction control at on the fly as you're going through the downhill portion. And that downhill braking zone on cold tires is going to be something to keep an eye out for. There is good camber in there. You can really hook the tire on the right side, but definitely not a corner you really want to send it at race start.
No, most definitely not. And you know what? You mentioned cold tires and camber. We're starting in the afternoon here. It looks like all the weather slots are random, which could mean anything. I don't think we're expecting rain, of course, but we could get cloudiness, which will cool the track down, will affect tire wear, or it could just be fully sunny. We'll see. Hover, did you hear or see yourself through anyone's practices what the weather tended to do?
It's random, Toddy, so we're not really quite sure, but we are expecting. I know, not an answer that's very telling, but yeah, I think a lot of these drivers are just like the previous race. They're gonna just keep an eye on how the weather is kind of affecting their tires, how they're making themselves feel feel during the middle of the stint, and then they'll make a call whether. Because I'm seeing a lot of people starting on the hards. Either they all go to the end on the hards, or they may go for a pit stop. Pit stops are only 9 seconds. That's the cost of a pit stop without fuel.
Okay, well, I don't blame you for not knowing. McNaughty just be doing stuff. So, we're on the grid now. The lights are on. We're going to wait for all those red lights to go away and signal the safe time to start. Ooh, and Naranjo getting a pretty good jump on Jorge there. Jorge with a slow reaction time, and he doesn't have the inside for turn 1. It looks like the guy is going to take full advantage of that, and he's already got himself up into turn 1. Roland trying to challenge for maybe P3, perhaps even P2. He's side by side with K Naranjo behind Jorge, who did immediately lose that position, but he looks to get it back, going down the inside on the Kai into turn, I guess that's turn 3 there. The Kai in good position for the next one, but these are kind of sweeping corners, and Jorge could carry a lot of speed through there, but he ends up wide and he's in the grass just a little bit, hooks that front left wheel, but he manages to hold on to it. I think all-wheel drive saved him a little bit there. Behind him, P5, 4 and 5 rather, side by side behind them, 5, 6, 7, all in it, 8 in it, P9, Island Grown, all still in the race, all vying for position as we head into some of the more flowing, quick sections of this track down towards what I call the roller coaster. Not this corner, but the next one. This is a tricky corner. Late apex here if you can. Island Grown kind of missing it there. Doesn't do him too badly. But that start there, that was a bit challenging for Jorge, and he tried to get right back, but unfortunately wasn't able to do it. Toon, can he and should he try to fight and get past the Kai this early on in the race?
Honestly, it's too early to try and get cute with it or try and do any theatrics. Really, the drivers are going to want to keep their cars in line and try and get everything up to proper race temperature. But within the next, I'd say, lap and a quarter, then we'll start seeing everybody really duke it out once they get into their rhythm. And some of these drivers are really going to be in some advantageous positions by the end of it all because they're going to be slowing each other down.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, with tire wear being such a big deal, we talked about that, compromising your lines and having to go deeper on the brakes, get on the accelerator quicker than you want to is going to affect all of that. To that point, we got a fight for P5 here between Mr. Racing and PDX's Roland. Roland just barely hanging on to it, but he's clearly been under attack, at least for the entirety of the final sector of that last lap and on into turn 1 here. Up front, Jorge makes a move on the Kai. He has got himself up ahead of the driver, of the free agent driver there, and Jorge taking P1 back. Will the Kai look to get back at him? Not sure. The Kai can be aggressive, but he can also be a little bit shifty, so we'll see how he plays it here. Jorge goes defensive. No, he doesn't. He looked like he was going defensive just to cover it off, but he is fine. Roland still going at it with Mr. Racing. I see Nuke in P7 has made his way up to that, looking for an opportunity as the two ahead of him fight. Maybe he's just content to stay back and save his tires. This fight continues on. that hairpin is coming up, and we might see an attempt at a pass here because Mr. Racing has been incredibly aggressive here, and that hairpin is a great place to try. Let's see how he sets himself up here as he chases PDX Roland through these final corners of the racetrack here. Oh! But here's Nuke showing his nose, and Mr. Racing not able to get close enough to do anything to Roland, perhaps seeing Nuke there and wondering, hey, am I safe from my own teammate? I don't know. Will Nuke help or will Nuke hurt? He is desperate to get into the finals, of course. So I don't know, man. Hover, listen, teammates, but like championship points, right?
Absolutely. You know, Mr. Racing is in a little bit of a better position, currently standing on 19 points. You know, very good chance, or at least a very good look into the finals, but nothing's guaranteed until that finish line, you know, is crossed. So these two guys are going to do everything they can to not hurt one another, but I wouldn't be surprised if they start prioritizing themselves closer to the end of the race.
That's right, and look, we still have it going on for P3 and P4 between K Naranjo and Cotton Ballistics, clearly working for the same team with those matching liveries. DGDR, Dumb Guys Do Racing, featured prominently on the back of their GTRs. Man, these guys are having a good time, but all that side-by-side is probably killing their speed, and they'll have trouble catching up to K Naranjo or even keeping themselves away from Roland and the rest of that crew behind them, the S7R boys right behind Roland, and then there's Talon lurking in the background as well. What a creep. Roland, I don't know what that was. Was that oversteer? I don't. Toon, can you get snap oversteer, like on throttle oversteer in his car?
You sure can. It is a very powerful car. It is a Gran Turismo, I believe it's a showcase car challenge winner, so it won a competition IRL, and they added it into the game. So these cars are ridiculously powerful for what they are built to be purposely.
Nice, I love it. And Nuke and Roland clearly showing an affinity for driving them. You don't battle like this unless you enjoy driving the car, and Roland able to keep his P6, but Nuke showing him, hey, I kind of got you. I don't know if Roland made a mistake there or if Nuke is just better in that sector. It's hard to pass in that sector, but maybe you can set yourself up. Island Grown here is 3 seconds back, unfortunately, not really in it. He is a free agent. He finished P12 in the last race. He's got 3 points over the season. His divisional standing is P28 overall. You can find him on YouTube at Island Grown, and he's been around for a good while. We love seeing this guy race. This is Division A, you know, and he's made his way up into it, and hopefully will continue the fight. We'll see him next season, I hope. What do we got going on here? Not a real fight for P3 anymore. Hover, what are we seeing around the track, around the grid?
Currently, the field is kind of spreading out a little bit. Jorge is kind of creeping away from the Kai, but the Kai still has some sort of chance later on in the race if Jorge doesn't keep his tires unchecked. Besides that, the battle for P6 is still brewing between Roland, Nuke, and Talon, as well as, you know, the current unbattle for P3, but everyone is on the hards, and so far, everyone seems to be on similar tires. Oak seems to be the worst so far, so maybe expect him to come in later on at the end of the race, but, you know, too early to tell so far.
Yeah, well, this is a fuel race, so it makes sense that a lot of drivers are going to be on the hards, just opting for the tire that will last with the tank. I wonder if we'll see folks jump onto softer tires later on. Probably. I think I heard a couple of RH to RS strategies here, but right now we're watching everyone on the least sticky tire, but probably the tire that this car handles the best on, Toon. It looks like the car feels good to most of the drivers on this tire.
Honestly, yeah, the hards are going to be the most forgiving because it's going to allow the drivers to really push the car to the limits, and they can ride that razor's edge a little bit better than they could on the racing mediums or the racing softs in terms of longevity. And honestly, speaking of these cars, I would be remiss if I didn't mention just some of these stunning liveries. We mentioned Island Grown a little while ago. I saw he's got Godzilla on his car in homage to the nickname this car has. So it is nice to see my boy Spicy Iguana on the car showing some love.
Come on, Spicy Iguana. Speaking of spicy, Cotton Ballistics had a spicy moment in the turn 1 there. A little bit of paprika on it, maybe some, some peppers, some chili peppers. He loses 2 positions. He's down to P7, possibly under attack by Talon, though I didn't see that he went off in the grass or anything, so I don't think he's dealing with dirty tires, but he does lose those 2 positions to Roland and Nuke, who continue to battle it out. Nuke just can't get past. We do have a replay of the situation. Here he is, right behind his teammate, headed into turn 1, brakes a little bit late. Oh, he just barely avoids running into the back of Kaden. Actually, I would say that Oak actually was the one who avoided that. You see him braking and opting not to turn in, seeing that Cotton had missed the braking point behind him there. Good heads up driving by him, and that is what ended up losing up a position. Oak, Caden Rajo, lucky to keep P3, but surely that would have knocked him back off of the guy. But right now, all the action is with Roland and Nuke still. Again, as we enter these corners, we see Nuke able to get side by side with Roland. He's got the inside for the hairpin this time around. Roland unable to accelerate until he can accelerate, and Cotton Ballistics goes ahead and takes advantage of the situation, gets P6 behind Nuke, who has finally made his way into P5, and now it's just a matter of holding Cotton Ballistics back there. Top 5 gets him some great points, Hover.
Yes, top 5 does give him a chance to go into the finals, but we have a long race to go. Jorge, just want to give a quick note, has some of the best tires on the grid so far, despite being, carrying the fastest speed. So he's very much in with a shout to do the no stop. Oak, on the other hand, his tires are not looking as great as I would like them to be. So I think we're going to expect him to pit in the next 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, Oak's front tires don't look great at all. I was just noticing that. Jorge saving his, going really quickly, which is great, and he's gonna want, oh my gosh, and a moment between Cotton and Roland there. I kind of missed some of it. I was trying to look at divisional standings for a second. Cotton's still having a moment. He's out in the grass, and man, he's having a lot of trouble controlling that cartoon. You said it's got a lot of power, can be oversteery. What do you think Cotton's dealing with here? What's happening for him?
I think it is a mixture of the understeer and also contending with the dirty tires from a previous rally crossing excursion earlier in the lap. And it's just causing him to continue to do some rally crossing and just propelling him further and further back into the clutches of Island and P9.
That's right, and it's got to be killing his tires as well in a race where tire attrition is such a big deal here. Mr. Racing now looking at his teammate back alongside him, or right behind him. So Nuke trying to chase Mr. Racing down for those points. On the topic of points, the reason I was looking at points was to see how close Jorge is to Wid. Jorge has 74 points right now, Wid with 93. So if Jorge wins this race, he's in a good spot, but I'm sure he wants to keep that fastest lap as well, because if he doesn't win, he still wants to start P1 in the final. As I recall, that is how the grid is set for the finals, right? It's your division standing. So he definitely wants every point he can get there. Jorge, man, it's the Jorge show right now. Team S7R racing together. Oh, and Nuke, ooh, a little deeper on the brakes than Mr. Racing there. He doesn't hit him or anything, but that was kind of close, and I don't think he meant for it to be. So maybe a positional swap in play here, Hover. What do you think? They in chat together?
Not quite sure if they're in chat together, but they are certainly doing everything they can to get a position over the other. These guys probably won't be fighting too much. If they're communicating, they'll be relaying their information on tire wear. If not, then they're probably just going to try to keep it easy until the end.
Yeah, on the topic of tire wear, as they go side by side behind Kane Naranjo, yeah, Kane Naranjo's front tires are in terrible condition. He's going to have to pit very soon here. We're about halfway through. Lap 8 will be the halfway mark, and he's got to do something. I think Nuke got Mr. Racing. He's in P4 now, ahead of Mr. Racing. Maybe we can see the pass. I don't know if we got a replay, but we'll check. Let's see. No, he's already alongside him as we get into this right-hander here, heading into the second half of the track. So Mr. Racing gets passed by the boss, who is on an absolute tear, looking for his spot in the finals. I told him in the chat, Nuke, put your head down and go practice. You got time. And maybe he did that. We had a couple of drivers mention some confusion with the fuel hover. We had 30 liters of fuel for qualifying, but they started with a full tank for the main race, and that changes the strat a little bit. How would it? How do you adjust?
It's going to be more of an adjustment of how you handle the car around the circuit, right? Obviously, tire wear, it's going to take a hit because of the extra fuel on the car, but that's not going to be your main concern. Your main concern is just going to be how do you adjust your driving lines? How do you adjust your braking and throttle inputs? Just how do you adjust to ever-changing race on a heavier car?
That's right. Hopefully, you know, they'll at least have gotten the seat time with a full tank and know what the car feels like, because obviously you start with 30 liters, you will have to have, you know, fueled up at some point. I don't know if you would fuel up to full, but Nuke obviously doing pretty well with that situation. Lots of racing left to go, but we're about at the halfway mark here. He's made his way up into P4. Everyone's on the same tire, so I don't see a strategy play coming to take P4 from him. I think this is an on-track battle all the way through, Toon.
Honestly, it definitely is going to be an on-track battle, but Nuke and Mr. Racing are going to be benefiting from the inevitable pit stop from Oak. It would appear that it's probably a mixture of brake bias and just severely overdriving the car, because the difference between his tire life and the likes of Nuke, as well as the rest of the drivers on track, is beyond a night and day difference. It's actually quite frightening to see the discrepancy in tire life between these two, between the drivers at the moment.
It is a pretty huge discrepancy in the tire there. My understanding, though, is that brake balance is not allowed in this race, so no one's able to throw that brake balance to the rear in an effort to save the fronts. This is all going to come down to driving style, and it sounds like maybe Kane Naranjo has one of those, hey, dive deep into the brakes, throw it hard into the corner styles, but ultimately that is not rewarded at this track, and certainly not with this car. We're looking at a three-way battle for third now, as Nuke and Mr. Racing do catch up with Kane Naranjo. Is going to jump into the pits. Mr. Racing jumps in as well. Did Nuke? No, Nuke stays out for P3. I do see that Roland's in, Talon is in, as expected. Race lap 8 rather. A bunch of drivers coming in to change their tires, others looking for the overcut. Cotton Ballistics being one of those after having fallen so far. Talon and Kane Naranjo come out together in the pits. I think I saw Talon come out on the mediums. I don't see what Kane Naranjo came out on. He comes out on the hard. So Talon should win this battle, both of them on cold tires, and they'll obviously want to be careful. Toon, we've seen Cotton Ballistics and what happens when you don't have this car under you or in hand properly. So these two drivers are going to want to tiptoe around each other this first half a lap, yeah?
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to want to tiptoe, and honestly, Kane Naranjo is going to really want to tiptoe probably harder than Talon will, just because he is on a harder compound, and with how aggressive he is on his tires, I mean, surely they will be warmed up by the end of the lap, but he's really treating the car as a glass cannon, so I think it'd probably be in Oak's best interest to rein it in just a little bit. Yes, Talon is ahead, but he is on the softer compound, so it's going to be more susceptible to wear than his own tires.
That's right. I think I did just see Oak have a little bit of a squirmy moment there. I just want to ask, like, shouldn't he tiptoe softer? Haha.
Yeah. You know, a little bit of Tiny Tim, tiptoe through the window. I'm
Yes.
expecting. Do not get a copyright strike.
Oh man. Oh, I hope you're light on your feet. We hope that you are light on your feet and even lighter on your tires in this second stint in the race. The Kai still chasing Jorge. He's gonna jump into the pits though. Jorge, I think, has stayed out. I haven't seen him jump in. So the Kai going to get his fresh tires. Nuke is now in. He was looking for that overcut. Let's see if he is able to come out and not be in a battle. Kai comes out right ahead of Cotton Ballistics, who ghosts into him. That was ambitious by Cotton there. Very interesting. Maybe you didn't see the Kai coming out of the pits. Of course, Kai will be on fresh tires. Cotton is gaining in his slipstream there, but he is on worn hards. He has to know doesn't really stand much of a chance, and he's off his line here. He manages to get it woed up in time. The Kai taking a wider line, taking evasive maneuvers in case Cotton missed that braking there. At least that's what it looked like to me. But the Kai seems safe, and he should be able to run away from Cotton. But that was pretty close, Hover. That could have been ugly.
Yeah, no, it would have been pretty bad, but Talon was able to get ahead since he's the only one that swapped over to the mediums. Everyone that's gone in so far swapped over to the hards. So Talon is playing a much more aggressive, higher stakes, higher reward strategy.
That's right. So everyone who has pitted so far back on another set of hards. Is that what I'm understanding? Except Talon?
Yep, Talon's the only one that went onto the mediums.
Got it. So hard, Talon seeing if he can make those mediums last the end to the end of the race. And, you know, he probably doesn't know he's the only one on them. So may not be looking to conserve as much as he would if he knew everyone else around him was on hards. And he does go fastest in that sector. Is Jorge's fastest lap in jeopardy? And also, what does getting that point mean for Talon? He sits 15th in the division right now as it stands. So really, if he finishes this race, he should be okay, I think. Jorge into the pits now. Will he come out ahead of Talon? And what tire will he be on? Let's see. He should come out just in front of the fourth place driver. Actually comes out ahead of the Kai, not as far ahead as he used to be, but both of these drivers are on hards, and Talon is actually nowhere close. I don't know what I was thinking about. Thought it might come a little bit closer than this, but it doesn't. Ooh, K Naranjo, a little wild coming out of turn one there. It was the front tires that were the problem for him first stint. Now he's got to be careful about his rears too, it seems, but he keeps P4 so far. Nuke is right there though, and Nuke has really been killing the game. Yeah, Toon?
Yeah, Nuke has been playing the consistency game like there's no tomorrow. He's left his teammate and Mr. Racing in the dust. So all he really has to do is focus on Oak ahead of him and try and capitalize on the aforementioned driver's aggressive driving style with this car.
Man, I love to see it. We knew that this final point scoring round would bring out a lot of aggression from these drivers, and it's kind of sad that they're in a car that's not as easy to drive as you would think, given the all-wheel drive nature of it. But ultimately, it is a tuner car. I don't think this car was ever really raced. However, do you know the history of this car? Is it just a tuner car, or is it in any sort of touring car championship, or was rather?
It was in the GT 500 over the Super GT. I don't think it was in any other sports car. The RW2 is the one with the more prestigious race team background, but this specific one is tuned up by, I believe, the independent garage called Mind. So that's why it has quite a few extra little features, if you would call it that.
Okay, so this specific one is a tuner car, not a race car. So honestly, no shade to Mines, because they've been around for a long time and built a lot of great stuff in my lifetime. But tuner cars don't tend to be optimized for drivability. If we're keeping it a buck, it's just not in their purview. So this one, very powerful, mostly H3 car, and our drivers are navigating this track with it as best as they can. Let's see. Talon to P3. K Naranjo still hanging on to P4 somehow. See how his tires last through the end of this stint, but Talon's mediums are already starting to look bad. Ooh, I lost the picture for a second there, but Toon, with Talon's tires already looking this way, we have 4.5 laps left here. I think he might be in a little danger from Oak.
Honestly, it does appear to be the case, but Talon has been rather gentle on his tires thus far. And as we approach the final 3 laps, if I had to wager a guess, we'll be seeing Talon go and give it even more gusto. Now, Jorge did also take a set of mediums, so he's probably intending to just rev the daylights out of this car for the remainder of the lap, or for the remainder of the race, due to the time in which he went into the pits. This is going to be a very interesting shakeup, but Oak is definitely not going to take this lying down, even though the gap is looking a little daunting at the moment.
Yeah, and you can see right there by how close it got to the wall. Oak is absolutely trying to be on his on his P's and Q's. As I say that, a little bit of oversteer. I was gonna say he is hitting his marks perfectly. He's just got to control that throttle a bit. I do see he's running no traction control, it looks like. Let me see when he gets into a bit of an acceleration zone here after this chicane, but I don't think he's got TCS on, so he is white knuckling it here with this car and counting on those front tires to pull him out of these corners. Behind him, you see Nuke and Cotton Ballistics in a bit of a fight for P5. Nuke isn't safe. He was chasing K Naranjo down, but now he is being chased down. He's on a set of hards. The fronts look pretty good for him. Cotton Ballistics on mediums that also look great. Nuke will want to defend, but if there's not a whole lot he can do, he's gonna have the inside for this turn here. Ooh, a little bit of a touch between them. Cotton looking to take the better line. You can take the outside line around here and keep a bit of speed. Just got to be careful coming out of it. Sure enough, Cotton is, and Nuke is able to get ahead and set himself up. But Cotton with a better setup for this sweeping left-hander here. He's going to sneak up on Nuke just a little bit, just creep up that little bit closer. Nuke will have to defend into the right-hander coming up. He defends up until the braking zone. I think Cotton's got something on him. If he can, yes, right there, Nuke ends up getting into the grass just a little bit, couldn't get on the gas, and Cotton Ballistics able to blast past him. Easy peasy. It was basically given to him. Unfortunately, Nuke not able to keep the car on track there, had to back out of it. So now that battle for P5 all but resolved as Cotton's on the faster tire. The battle for P3 rages on here. Talon headed into that hard braking zone for the hairpin. K Naranjo obviously won't be able to make a move here, but look at him with the right line through there. Talon goes out wide, missing his braking point just a little. K Naranjo with the over acceleration and the right track position to get himself set up for the left-hander. What a brilliant pass there. K Naranjo taking advantage of the situation. Could have easily gotten into the back of Talon there, but able to find some space and squeeze by him on the left. That's P3 for K Naranjo. He's on the hards, Talon on the mediums. Behind them, they have another 2 drivers coming up. Hover, is this the best battle on track right now?
Currently, yes, it is. Naranjo with the better hards right now, but Talon is probably going to lose more time to Oak than he is to Cotton, because Cotton is on a fresher set of mediums.
Yes, let's do it. So it should all contract here. Cotton is going to look to get the pass. He's running out of time to do it. I don't think he's going to wait. I don't think he's going to wait for K Naranjo and Talon to get into it. Nah, he's going to be aggressive. He's got to be. This is the final round. These are points to get into the final. And it should get exciting here. P1 and P2, I think, are still kind of far apart. I don't think I can't tell, but I don't think Jorge and the Kai are having this kind of fight. These 4 drivers here are letting it hang out. They absolutely need this. Nuke in P6 looking to do his absolute best. We have a battle for P7 going behind them, but the high points are here with K Naranjo leading on tires that are getting more and more worn. We saw him struggle with tire wear in the first stint. He doesn't have long in this last stint to make him last, but he's got to be careful here. Toon, look at what's going on with Cotton and Talon. What does Cotton do? He's got to look for an opportunity. Where is it?
Honestly, the opportunity is going to probably be right here as a prime example. Wait for Talon to outbreak himself as he just did. And this four-way shootout for that last podium step's only going to get even more intense as this race progresses towards that final lap.
I agree. Talon, yes, making the same mistake he made that allowed Caden Naranjo to pass him earlier, but this time not as bad, and Cotton Ballistics not able to take advantage of the same line that Oak was able to use. Here comes Nuke with the dives into the chicane, making it known that he's here, showing the nose. He's going to look to get the inside into turn one. He's looking to outbrake Cotton. He can't do it. Cotton gets the over acceleration out of the corner. He will go wide, almost into the back of Talon into turn one. And now Cotton's back in trouble. He's no longer on the attack. He sees Nuke coming. Nuke that had that great opportunity. Nuke seems to do well in kind of that middle sector as well. I wonder if he can make something happen against Cotton, who surely is starting to do a tire wear in these last couple of laps here. Naranjo is running away with it. He's in P3. He's got a decent gap to Talon, who again took medium tires a good while ago and is probably feeling them as Cotton gets right back up behind him. Looks like Talon, not doing great with the tires. We still have a battle for P7 going, by the way, so battles everywhere. Roland and Mr. Racing getting into it. Roland was battling for P5 with Nuke earlier in the race, but he's obviously out of that pack. Ooh, I thought I saw something between Talon and Cotton Ballistics. Cotton Ballistics literally sitting his forehead in Talon's back seat to get him out of the way. He's looking left, he's looking right. Only a few chances left here. He's going to get alongside him, and he might have gone ahead and made that pass in the roller coaster. He sure did. So he's got that Talon. Talon's in danger with P5 here. He's got bad tires. He's low on fuel. Nuke, again, is hungry and has been doing really well. His tires don't look too bad. I'm sorry I'm doing a lot of talking. There's just so much action. Hover, save me.
Currently a four-way battle between Oak, Cotton, Talon, Nuke. Oak is pretty much covered off, but Cotton has had some sort of response at least. The mediums, while worn, definitely has a little bit of extra oomph in it. Let's see what happens out of the final corner going into turn one.
Man, these two back together again. They were together in that first part of the race, and now, yes, Cotton with the move. He dives into the brakes on Naranjo into turn one. Naranjo looking to stick it around the outside, maybe get the acceleration out of the corner. He just doesn't have it. It's not far back. It's so frustrating when someone literally just inches ahead of you, but Cotton did what he had to do there, and he's got more bite for these corners here. He's able to carry more speed through them, and we saw Naranjo lose a ton of time in that corner there. Nuke is all over the back of Talon. This is the final lap, and he's looking to get into that top five. He really wants those points. Look at him setting up his line and try and out-accelerate Talon, but this will give Talon the inside for the next right-hander. Can Nuke drive around him around the outside? He did. I didn't even see it. Nuke into P5. Nuke into P5 behind Naranjo and Cotton Ballistics. This is the battle on track. The battle for third place, actually, as Cotton is not fully safe. Anything can happen. Naranjo, his teammate right behind him, Nuke. Talon looking for glory here and a spot in the finals. Guys, Division A rather, always great racing. I think this final's gonna be sick. Talon has run out of fuel. He's got nothing. Nuke loses the back end, coming towards the hairpin. He's into the wall. He loses the position to Talon. Will he lose any other positions? Naranjo is out of fuel as well. We have just a few corners left, but if you're out of fuel, you get past like that. There goes Talon. Talon's pretty low too. Jorge will cross the line for the win. The Kai will cross the line for P2. Where is Cotton Ballistics? Is he out of fuel? I don't know. I don't know what Cotton's car looks like. He's very low on fuel. I think he has just enough to Flintstones his way across the line here for P3. Where is Talon? He will take P4. Another Flintstones guy. Nuke into P5 because of Naranjo running out of fuel despite slamming into a wall. Nuke keeps P5 rolling. We'll finish the lap. We'll finish the race at P6. We have a replay of what happened to Nuke here. He's coming out of the roller coaster. He kind of almost gets to the back of Kay Naranjo, runs through the grass, and that unsettles the car, and he can't hold on to it. Man, but then, of course, Naranjo runs out of fuel ahead of him and finishes in P8. Mr. Racing will take P7. Island Grown will come in P9. Tune. That was crazy. That in the race. Yeah.
All right. Well, we love a bit of showmanship. Yeah, that was an insane race, and I was worried about Oak's fuel level, but I didn't know it was that. I didn't know it was that drastically short. So that has to be devastating for the MMR driver.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he did everything he could to hang on to P3 despite having the, a disadvantage in tires. Congratulations to Jorge for the win. Man, shoot, let's read these results. Jorge wins the race in first place. The Kai comes in second behind him. In third, we got Cotton Ballistics. Talon will take fourth place after a dramatic finish. Nuke comes in behind him to round out the top five. PDX's Roland gets P6. Seventh place will be S7R's Mr. Racing 40. Naranjo ran out of gas. He takes P8 after running P3 for so long. And then finally, Island Grown came in P9, surprisingly, not too far behind everyone else, by the way. But those are the classified results for the Division A race. Yo, Hovercraft, NRL is stressful. I don't envy Flawed doing this lead commentator thing here. As color commentator, as someone who was just watching this race, I know you like to jump in when there's action going on. Call out any battles that you saw that weren't on the main screen. Who else was getting it in?
Honestly, the battles were just shifting left, right, and center. Right, for a little bit it was Jorge and Kai. Then in a little bit it was Talon and Cotton Ballistics, and then it shifted over to Nuke and Mr. Racing. And yet they still are able to find a way to all get themselves grouped together towards the end. It's just insanity at how well these drivers prep and how well they execute to still keep their foot in with a chance right up until the checkered flag.
100%. I'm thankful for the picture-in-picture technology we have, allowing us to see different battles around. But I know that race was something. It's such a good track to race on. Tune. We talked about that early on in the broadcast here, rather early on in the setup for race A. For Alsace Village, should it come back in NRL? Should we see it again?
Honestly, Alsace Village, as we've seen, is a grueling track. It definitely
Oh, yeah.
separates the boys from the men in terms of overall racing. We've seen drivers rise to the occasion. We've seen drivers who just came a little short. And we've seen drivers who got by on fate pulling its strings and an insane amount of luck. It's one of those circuits that just really keeps you on your toes and keeps the racing so unpredictable. So, yes, 1,000 times yes. Always bring back Alsace at least every other season.
I agree. This track is definitely what I would call one of those test tracks. If you want to see how fast somebody is, take them to Alsace. This is a great combo. And of course, in true NRL fashion, we give you a difficult track with a difficult car. And yes, Tune, that does turn into some chaos and fate working out in some people's favor and to some people's detriment, unfortunately, here. It seems like most people who crash, though, it somehow worked out for them. Like Nuke had a whole wall slam and was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna lose a single position because Oak ran out of fuel." Man, what a race! Strategy, skill, driving, whatever. Let's talk to our finishers here. We're gonna start with Cotton, who's in third place. Hey, Cotton, congratulations! I'm actually gonna pass you to Hover first. Hover, you got any questions for Cotton?
Colin, congratulations on that P3. Amazing drive. You know, you really took a kind of a bit of a gamble, right? You decided to go long on the hards and then finish it out on mediums. How during the race, how comfortable or how sure were you in executing that strategy?
I felt terrible the entire time. I was practicing for this combo. I even did some practice just before the race, and I couldn't keep the car under me. In the race, my tire wear was surprisingly better than what I got during my practice sessions. So, yeah, I copied race strategy. He came up with that late last night, and I honestly was unsure if I was going to be able to pull it off. But yeah, I got extremely lucky because I had so many mishaps. I got frustrated with myself, but I had to calm myself down. But as they head down and just drive, and I don't know how I pull this off. I really don't.
Well, it's we have a replay to look after, so there's definitely a way you were able to. And congratulations on the execution. This should be a very, very, very good result, and it should cement you going into the finals. So, overall, congratulations on the drive. I'm glad to see that you're able to keep it all together when it counted the most. So, congratulations.
I agree. All right. Well, Cotton, aka Batman, aka Corpse Husband, congratulations on the podium. MMR on the podium. We love to see it. So, this was a grueling race, and with the difference in strategies we saw from the drivers in this race, and I know things were stressful for you. What did you do in terms of practice in the time we had in between last round and this round?
Well, I started with medium strat, but the first stint on the mediums, it's basically impossible. Because there's so much tire drop off after like what 5 or 6. So after talking it over with my teammates, and do a little bit more practice on the hards, we came to the conclusion that the hards would actually be a viable tire. When I saw people coming in on lap 8 from the hards, I kind of expected most of them to go to mediums. I didn't expect people to do a hard. So I knew in that point, them giving the undercut would have put me in a pretty disadvantageous position, but having the fresher and softer tires, I thought I'd be able to make a few moves. So yeah, the strategy for me, it worked out better than I could have anticipated. And, I pretty much owe it on to Jorge, honestly.
I get that, and yeah, it was definitely to your benefit. This is going to be a very healthy set of points for you in the overall standings. Over to you, Tati.
Thank you, Cotton man. P3, and you know what? You pulled it off with guts. Basically, we saw you climb up into P3, and it was a brilliant climb. Like I said before, I'm asking everyone the same question. If there is a combo that you can win, what's that combo for the final?
I know we don't get repeats here, but if we can get a longer version of last week's the Saturday A race, we have a good shot at that. I really enjoy high downforce cars, so if we can't have that, I'll tell you anything in high downforce. The track doesn't really matter.
Okay, big confident talk. High downforce track doesn't matter. Thank you, Cotton, and congratulations again. We don't have the Kai for P2 here, but I do believe we have Jorge who came into P1. Jorge, congratulations on the win. Hover, do you have anything to say to Jorge? Nice things.
Well, Jorge, congratulations on the overall win, right? This, I believe, along with the fastest lap, means you'll be the second ever person to get triple digits in a NRL regular season. 100 points on the board, provisionally, of course, but congratulations on the triple digits and on the achievements. Starting off on the race, you kind of got a bad start off the line versus the Kai. What were your thoughts on the opening laps overall?
Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Sure
can.
can.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I have mic issues. I think I have a bad internet connection. What was your question? I'm sorry. What the opening lap when I was battling with the Kai?
Yeah, what were your just general thoughts overall, especially with dropping down to P2 briefly?
Really wasn't that worried about it initially because I felt like I had pretty good pace just based on what I was seeing in practice, and then in the qualifier. And then I think Kai made a little bit of a mistake and I was able to get around. And then I don't know if it was kind of maybe the lobby weather, but it seemed like fuel was going faster than usual. So then after that, or it might have just been that little bit of a battle we had and me not short shifting as much as I should have. Because then I noticed I was basically a lap down on fuel. So after that, then I really had to start fuel saving, but it looked like other people might have been in the same boat because they were not closing any gaps.
Well, that did all happen, but regardless, it kind of went more towards your way. So again, congratulations on the overall win. Tune, over to you.
Jorge, congratulations on a dominant showing this race. Second person to hit triple digits. That's got to feel pretty good. So, Alsace is a polarizing circuit, as we have gathered. This car is definitely not something everybody goes out of their way to go and drive just on a leisurely afternoon to avoid daily races. What were some of the hurdles you had to overcome in practice to try and formulate a game plan for this round?
That car is, I mean, it's really a brick. It does not turn at all, even on the racing softs, and it on the first lap that you do on really on any tire, it completely overheats the tires. And so it's really trying to not cook the tires, even though they're going to cook no matter what you do, and just getting comfortable with the car and figuring out how to drive it. Because when I first did some laps in it, I was like, this is easily the worst car that I've ever driven in this game. And then after some time, it's like, yeah, it's all right. You just have to kind of figure it out. So there was that aspect, and then the fuel. How much do you have to short shift to get around without taking any fuel? What's the best tire strategy? So kind of all the normal stuff. But yeah, the car was a bit unique. Like the Ferrari that we did at Laguna Seca, it feels like a high performance car that wants to turn and rotate. This car was just, yeah, it's tough to drive.
Yep, it is definitely not for those of weak constitution, but you made it look easy and you pulled off honestly, I believe a perfect season in terms of points, races, victories. So with that being said, do you have any expectations for the finals? Anything you want to say to your longtime friend and rival Wid before we hit the finals next week?
No, I don't
Be
have any
free with your words.
I don't have any messages for Wid. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking forward to the finals. I think that puts me in the lead for the finals, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, excited about that. I was expecting to start P2 or P3, so I'm glad I was able to jump up a spot or two.
Yep, and so I can't wait to see what you pull off next week. Over to you, Tati.
Thanks. It does put you in the lead for the finals, Jorge. So you will be starting on that first spot in whatever the final ends up being. I got a couple questions for you. I mean, you you've been pretty dominant. When we came into this season, we expected that it would be a dogfight between yourself and Kai. As I think though, I'm trying to remember if you guys have had a lot of long battles. This almost feels like the beginning of this race feels like the tightest battle I've seen between the two of you on track. Were there any other times this season where you guys were like dogfighting?
Not really. I think we were always kind of on different strategies. So
Yeah.
it was close, but it was I think in the first race they did a different strategy, and yeah, pretty much every race just different strategies, so we kind of more or less come together at the end time wise. But I don't think there was, I mean, there was a little bit of a battle at Nordschleife with the formula cars, but yeah, no, it wasn't that much.
Okay. Well, give us the tea. What have you learned about fighting the Kai in your, short time of swapping paint with him?
I mean, yeah, the guy's very fast. Actually, I think they should have won race 1, and I think the Kai should have won 3 of these races. Really, I mean, there was just they made a couple little mistakes, in my opinion, strategy wise, that got him held up in traffic. But yeah, definitely had pace on me in 2 or 3 of the races. So yeah, I mean, I have a lot of respect for the Kai. Not looking forward to battling them in the finals. Not looking forward to seeing Wid either or anyone else. But yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, listen, like you said, there have been a couple of strategy mistakes there, but I do think they have what it takes to really put on a show in this final. Hopefully, we don't see too disparate of a strategy between you, the Wid, the Kai, really anybody in that top 5. I'm really excited. To that point, Jorge, you have had a perfect season. You have 3 digits. You're him, perhaps Himothy even. So my question to you will not be the same as everyone else's because you keep winning. What is the combo you're sure to lose?
Oh God, probably anything Tokyo, any non-real track. I'm not going to be that thrilled with. I mean, I like all the real tracks in the game. I don't do a lot of like Trial Mountain or Deep Forest, anything like that. Any road cars I'm typically bad at, but since we've already done a couple of those, I don't think we'll see that. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of tracks on the game I don't love, but yeah, I don't know. I'm praying for like Bathurst. Bathurst would be cool, something like that. Suzuka, maybe.
You know what's ironic is that you just won on a made-up track in a street car, but okay.
Irony.
Okay, you know what, Bathurst or Suzuka would absolutely be great. Listen, whatever it is, I know you're going to do well. You have always been surprising, even when you've been on the back foot all season long. Congratulations on yet another win, and perhaps a two-peat on the championship this next round. We'll see.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm going to try. So yeah, thanks everyone. Have a nice weekend.
You too.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
And on that note, everybody, we are going to take one more break and give you guys a chance to use the bathroom before we reveal the final standings and who's going to the finals. And then we're going to reveal what the final combos are. Ooh, come back. We'll be back soon.
Witness a lakefront transformation right here in the Point. And you may not believe it, but just last year, this home was down to the studs.
Hi, I'm Mark Goldstein, and welcome to Hankey's. We are located in the heart of Old Town Florissant, 901 North Lafayette, a few blocks down from Sacred Heart Church and Hendel's Market Cafe. This local establishment started in 1926. The Hankey's family bought the bar from the Schraders in 1955 and then turned into what it is today, Hankey's Tavern. And in 2021, a group of local investors became owners of Hankey's Tavern. Recently, we went from a dirt pile to a full-fledged patio, which has bags and washers, entertainment on Friday, Saturday night, which we hope to extend that. We have extended our kitchen hours, which is a request for many, many years. We do have draft beer back after a 12-year lull of no draft beer. We have brought that back with Budweiser as our mainstay, since this was a Budweiser bar in 1926, right before Prohibition.
We're still doing the crinkle cut fries and our cheeseburger platters, but now we have a couple new creative ideas that our kitchen staff has came up with. So come in and try our homemade chicken lollipops. We smoke them fresh daily and then fry them and top them with a Asian butter sauce, and then topped with green onions as well. That's our biggest hit right now that we have on our menu. Each and every day we make fresh sauces, and we take pride in that. We feel like we have a very good variety of sauces that pair well with our appetizers. Whether you want to come in here for lunch with just you and a buddy, or you want to come in here with you and your whole group of people, whether it's 20 people, 200 people, we feel like we can accommodate everyone and anybody.
As of this year, we've done something that it hasn't happened in the history of this establishment. We do accept credit cards. We established a Hankey's Helps non-for-profit organization that reaches out to friends in need. Hankey's is a community bar. We have a lot of the regulars from years past still attending. We have a lot of the regulars that have left our area that are coming back in droves to see what's going on. Hours of operation is from 11 a.m. to 1:30 a.m. The kitchen hours are from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. till 9 p.m. Find out more information about Hankey's on our Hankey's Facebook page, Hankey's Tavern. We put the band, when the bands are going to be here, the events are going to be here. Come join us at Hankey's Tavern for a burger and a beer. You'll enjoy all the new items that we have, and you'll enjoy all our new improvements. So we look forward to seeing you in the future. Again, join us on our Facebook page, or you can call us at 314-386-1525 to get a carry-out order, or if you have any questions.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thank you for your patience with us. Now, we're going to get you all the standings, all the finals information. But first, I do want to take the time to again thank our sponsors, DGDR, aka Dumb Guys Do Racing podcast, brought to you by the PDX Sim team. Do check them out everywhere that podcasts are. Again, that's Dumb Guys Do Racing. Also, Trails and Custom Construction. It's our second season with them. If you are in North Carolina or the surrounding areas, holler at them for any construction needs around your home, even furniture and other sorts of custom builds. And finally, Hankey's Tavern, who's also been with us 2 seasons now in Old Town Florissant in St. Louis, Missouri. Great food, and they play all the NRL races on the TV. So go check them out. And then, how could I forget? Little J CPA, turning streams and side hustles into smart money moves. Holler at them for any accounting needs. If you're late on those taxes, call Little J, please. So now, it is time. Finally, let's take a look and see, one, who's going to make it into the Division B final Tune, if you could please read those names to us, that'd be great.
It would be my pleasure. So looking at the provisional standings for Division B, pre-Stewards inquiries, starting at P28, we have MD Hop with -1. We have Shadow Chef in 27th with 3 points, followed by Luis in 26th. Making our way up the order, we have S Folk Drom W. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name so many times. We have PHG Arrow in P24 with 9 points, and a tie with Jimmy K9 with 9 points as well. We have BHR Johnny Boy in P22 with 12 points, followed by Bells 1S with 14. Making our way to the top 20, we have Blythe Pangolin with 17, with Robson taking P19 with 18 points. ZL will take P18 with 21 in a tie with Lyric for P17. Making our way up, we have IORT Fishtail in a tie with Sugar Shuffles on the bubble, pre-Stewards inquiries, mind you, at P15 with 22 points apiece. Now making our way to the provisional top 14 and race order for our finals next week. We have Stumpy with 24 points. We have NBR Krulov 11 in a tie for P12 with VIP Rowdy Burns. We have PHG Papa with 27 points, and we have Prod Captain Slow with 32. In P9 will be MK3 Double T WHR with 35 points, followed by Keeper with 37. Making our way up even further, we've got Belmora with 44, Digital Relay with 49. Making our way up to the top 5, it will be Corridor 71 with 67, VIP JP Scale with a nice 69 points. And in the top 3 for our starting order for the finals, it will be Cole Trickle with 72 points, PDX Sim PSVR2 with 83, and Sheldologist, being the first one in NRL history to hit triple digits, will start pole position for the finals with a whopping 104 points. And with that, it's time to go take a look at the Division A standings and a quick check-in with the ever so lovely hovercraft.
Thank you very much, too. Let us go over to Division A provisional standings. In 28th, it is RG the Squirrel with 4 points, followed by Drobo with 5. Island Grown, 5 points as well. Select in 25th, Hondo in 24th. FAX Slowpoke Rods in 23rd with 6 points, tying those 3 drivers. Josh Moment in 22nd with 13 points, tied with VIP Left to Pass, joint 21st. FAF Wade with 17 points, Negative Waves and 18 points. Nuke in 22 points. 17th is PDX Roland with 23 points. 16th S7R's Mr. Racing 40 with 25 points. And 15th, first on after the cutoff line, is Moose with 27 points. On the screen, we're seeing those who made the cut into the finals as well as their starting orders. Starting off in 14th, Flopster making the cut with 32 points. Talon in 13th with 33 points. 12th is K Narampo with 35 points. Shred in 11th with 36 points. 10th is IORT Azrael. 9th with Bobajito. 8th in Bacon Dance with 46 points. S7R and the 2 teammates in a higher place in 7th, and Troop in 6th, 50 and 49 points respectively. 5th is Cotton Ballistics, taking the final race with 53 points, a tie with Alikos, who stands in 4th place. Duckai is in 3rd place with 86 points. Wade, the top finisher on the Friday side, with 93 points, and the second ever person to get triple digits in NRL regular season. Jorge taking pole position with a flat 100 points.
And now we're going to get into the reveal of what the races are for the final. I'm so excited for this. We're going to start with the Division B final race. And Toon, I'm going to let you read that out since you'll be doing the commentary.
Sounds good. It looks like for our grand final winner takes all race, our Division B drivers will be at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We are going up to Canada, folks, and our drivers will be in the Nissan GT-R LM Nismo 2015 Group 1 car. It will be a grid start with false start check. BOP will be on with brake balance allowed. They will have all tires available, and all of them will be required as well. The grid order will be sent by championship points order, so the points you see on screen is where you're going to be in the final race. They will be doing a staggering 40 laps with 3 times tire, 3 times fuel, a scary slow 1 liter 8 second refuel rate, and heavy damage. Again, folks, this is winner takes all. It doesn't matter where you start, it just matters where you finish. And by God, what a combo we have. This is going to be one for the record books. You've heard me say it before, but this one will be a guaranteed future repeat after next week.
Yeah, I mean, this one is crazy, absolutely. And now, let's talk about the Division A race. Hovercraft, if you could please, when it pops up on the screen here, let the folks know what we can expect for the top class final.
Absolutely. Mirror, mirror on the wall. What will Division A have to race to end it all? We are going to Abu Dhabi, it seems, for the finale. We are racing the Gran Turismo F3500 car. Just like the Division B side, there's no qualifying. It's just championship order to start the grid with a grid start, false start check. We're going to be running it on BOP. Brake balance is allowed. The 3 racing tire compounds are all available to be used, but you only need to use 1 pit stop. 40 laps around the Abu Dhabi track with 4x tire wear, 1x fuel consumption, and just like the Division B race, we're seeing heavy damage and a 1 liter per second refuel rate. This is very akin to F1 finales, isn't that right?
Yeah, this one right here is proper, and I believe it was Cotton who said he wants high downforce cars. You got it, bro. Hope you like Yasmarina, but this is a fantastic combo. B is fantastic as well. You know what? First of all, how has it already been over a decade since the GTR LM fiasco? Man, what a combo! That car is front wheel drive. I remember that was the cool thing about it. So tire wear will definitely be an issue for those drivers over there at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. But here in the F3500 at Yas Marina, it is giving Formula One vibes. That tire change requirement is awesome, but there's no specifically required tires. So, Toon, I think we're going to see a ton of different strategies play out in Race A.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a who's who of strategies. We are at the Yas Queen circuit, and honestly, given the implications, these steering wheels for these drivers are going to be nothing short of moist by the end of it.
Agreed. Many moist steering wheels, many ruined Alcantara surfaces there. And Hover with Division B with that GTR LM. I'll be honest, I've never driven that car in this game. What have you?
I've driven it a little bit, and Gran Turismo, funnily enough, reflects a lot of the problems the real-life version had. It sacrificed a lot of aerodynamics because to run a front-wheel drive system on a, well, at the time, it was a LP1 car, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and with that, you also have to make a lot of sacrifices to the suspension. Overall, there's a reason why it lasted only 2 races, and these drivers have the honor to learn why.
Well, yeah. Thankfully, everyone is in the same car, so everyone will be in the same compromised boat. I'm not gonna lie, I was rooting for the GTR LM when it came out, just because it was so different and weird. I was actually pretty disappointed to see it axed in such a spectacular fashion when it was. I believe everyone was fired about a week before Christmas. Anyway, do not miss this finals race. It will be on Saturday, May 2nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's here on McNaughty's YouTube channel, and as you can see, We have a bunch of fantastic drivers who are going to be fighting in some fantastic races. If you missed last night's races, go check those out as well, so you get an idea of what kind of head-to-head damage really is about to be done here. Man, I think for now we just go into our driver of the day, and then that'll be it for us. So, Hover, who is your driver of the day between Division A and B?
I think I want to give a good shout to I guess this is a little bit biased considering he's S7R, but in Division B, Digital Relay, he had a wonderful race today, did the off strategy with a no stop on hards, and it got him a P4. This entire season, for the last 4 races, he's only got P4. One of the most consistent drives I've ever seen in any NRL season, and I'm so glad to see that he gets rewarded with a spot in the final round. So that's who I would choose for today.
That is a good choice. Toon, who are you picking?
Well, I know some of you may be thinking, oh, you only picked him because he won the race. But no, hear me out here. My driver of the day is going to be Shelled just because he made history today. First triple-digit points recipient in a regular season for the NRL. That is nothing to take lightly. And honestly, come the finals, if I'm Corridor, I'm probably going to be sweating a little bit because this is going to be a very interesting sequence of events. 40 laps, Gilles Villeneuve in a prototype car that didn't really get too much time to shine. And I do want to quickly touch on that prototype car. I tried driving it in cockpit view without the VR headset because I don't own one. And hopefully it looks better in VR than it does on the TV because there's really not a whole lot of things you can see outside of the cockpit. So I'm hoping for the best for the Division B drivers. And yeah, I got to give it to Shelled. He made history today.
Yeah, he did really great, and he made medium tires do stupid things today. So, yeah, I think that is a good call out there. I think my driver of the day is going to be Cotton. And honestly, it just comes down to style for me today. I just like the way he moved up the track in the last half of the Alsace race. Letting it hang out a little bit. We saw a couple of squirrely moments, but he managed to get that podium spot, and he's got a car that he should enjoy driving for the race A final. Well, guys, I always hate to do this. I usually don't have to start it. It's usually flawed, but I will start the goodbyes. Hover, tell the people, have a good one.
Have a good one, everyone. I hope you had an enjoyable moment today, because next week will be our final broadcast for NRL Season 7, and I hope all of you guys have the moment to share with us that spectacular 2 final races.
Thank you, and it's a goodbye from Toon.
Thank you all so much for watching. It's been an honor and a privilege to enjoy your company for not 1, but 2 days on the trot, and I can't wait to see you all next week for the grand finals. So hopefully we will see you there bright and early.
Yep. And I want to say thank you to the 2 of you, by the way, Toon and Hover, for joining in. I really enjoyed doing comms with the both of you. It's a goodbye from me, everyone. We'll see you next time.